The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
The New York Jets are on a winning streak. Joe Benigno joined us to get his thoughts on the Jets' win over the Browns and look ahead to Thursday Night Football against the Patriots. It's the Jake Asman Show on Victory Monday. Let's hit it and get it started.
Oh my Lord.
Sauce tweeted, New York, it's been real. They just signed him to an extension. What?
A new chapter for the Jets has started. Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji are tasked with shaping the future of this franchise. Will they be the ones to finally get it right? We will be here for every step of the journey on the Jake Asman Show, breaking down all the storylines, every game, and everything in between. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chats, baby. Cut the line. The Jake Asman Show starts right now.
Here we go on Victory Monday. Welcome in, everybody. We're presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. Hit the like button. Make sure you are subscribed to the show. Ladies and gentlemen, the Jets do something they almost never do. They won back-to-back games, and they won a game after the bye week. For more on that, we say hello to our guy, Joe Benigno. Joe, do you believe it? The Jets have won 2 straight games.
Unbelievable. What can you say? I tell you what, I got to give some credit here to the coach. We've been all over the coach, and me too, with that. But, to have this team ready to play football like they did yesterday after all the insanity of the week with trading Gardner and Williams, and coming off the bye, I give him credit, man. And I want to say this too, because there's a faction of our fellow Jet fans out there that, complaining that they win the game. Look, wake up and smell the coffee. Okay. Number one, this team is not going to go 1-16. That's not happening. They're not going to lose out, and they're not going to lose the next 8 games. That's not happening. All right. So understand that. Understand that there's a lot of teams in this league. I mean, you look at it right now, you got a 2-8 Giant team. You got a 2-8, the Saint team. You got a 1-8 Titan team. Look at them. Here you go. Cleveland's 2-7. Vegas is 2-7. Miami with a great win over Buffalo yesterday, and the Bills, by the way, coming off that rose. But you got all these teams. The Jets are going to be. They're going to be in a top 10 pick, but they're not going to be the first pick in the draft. So get over that nonsense. It never really works out anyway. Trevor Lawrence, are you really crying that we don't have him? Give me a break. How about the way they blew that game yesterday, the Texans? So it's not about where you pick. It's about who you pick. So I want to win games. I've said that. I want to continue to see it. I don't think I don't feel good about winning against the Patriots or the Ravens, but they got 8 games to go, and there's no reason they can't win 4 of them. You got the Falcons, you got the Jaguars, you got the Dolphins at home, you got New Orleans. There's winnable games there. So let's go win some of these games. And like I said, you're still going to have a very high draft choice when all is said and done.
Completely agree. And the reality is this, with the trades they made, Joe, if they love a guy, they're in position to go up and still potentially get their guy. And some of these teams that could be picking in front of the Jets, maybe it's even the Giants now, throw them in. They might already have their quarterbacks, and they're not going to take one. So I can't worry in early November where they're picking. If we get to week 18 and they're playing the Bills or aren't playing anyone or whatever, and the game means nothing for securing a top 3 pick, okay, I'll have the conversation. But I agree with you, Joe. Winning yesterday, and it was ugly, and really winning without any production from your quarterback, that to me did show me something. We all said we want to see Aaron Glenn improve. Well, winning is the only way to kind of see real improvement, and they've won 2 straight games. So let's see now if they could build on it going into a game. No one's going to pick them, and no one give them a chance on Thursday.
Yeah, no question about it. And look, Fields isn't any good. We all know that. I give him credit for hanging in there yesterday. He threw that 1 pick. He did take a bunch of shots yesterday. But the bottom line is they won the game. It's unbelievable. How about the 2 kick returns for touchdowns? That's never happened in the history of the franchise. It was stunning. How do you say his name? I never could say this kid's name right. And
I struggle with it too. Kene Nwanu, I believe, is the name.
Nwanu, however, 99-yard touchdown return after they had gone right down the field for a touchdown, Cleveland. And Isaiah Williams, who, remember, he got cut early in the year after a big fumble. This kid is real. He's been a big factor now in the 2 games they won. He was big on offense last week against Cincinnati, made some big plays in the passing game, and the punt return for a touchdown yesterday. They got something with this kid. I want to see more of him. I thought that was huge. I thought the defense played phenomenal yesterday. Will McDonald obviously had a ridiculous game with 4 sacks. How about Quincy Williams? We talk about paying Breece Hall, which obviously they should be doing. Breece Hall is their best offensive player. I don't want to hear about Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson, the 2 games the Jets have won, Garrett Wilson was an absolute non-factor. He didn't play 2 weeks ago in Cincinnati. He didn't catch a pass yesterday, and he eventually got hurt. Their best offensive weapon is Breece Hall, and they need to take care of this guy. With that said, the game Quincy Williams had yesterday, after he got benched and his brother got traded, he was all over the field. I mean, he's another guy. Let me tell you something right now. This guy, if they let him go, he's another Demario Davis in the making. He's going to be a star somewhere else if he wound up playing for Robert Saleh in San Francisco, or I don't know, for what's his name, Vance Joseph in Denver. One of the Lou Antamuro, whatever his name is now. What is he with the Colts now? Wherever he is, if he winds up with one of those kind of defensive coordinators, Vic Fangio,
Jeff Ulbrich in Atlanta,
right. He's a star. So, they should pay him too. They got $117 million under the cap next year. I would keep Quincy, and I certainly would keep Breece Hall.
Without a doubt, Breece to me is a no-brainer. If you were not going to trade him, and they reportedly had a 4th-round pick on the table from Kansas City, then you got to keep him. And Joe, we've seen this. The Jets win when Breece Hall has big games.
No
We've seen this, not even just this year in the 2 wins, but
no question
when he's healthy out there, looking like the guy that was going to run away with offensive rookie of the year.
You're the stat man. You got all these great. You probably could pop it right up for me now. What's the Jets' record when Breece Hall scores a touchdown? Check that out.
Yeah,
I can have that in front of you. You're real good at that. So I'm too old for that. You use computers, I don't. So thank God for my wife. Check that out, because I think it's a pretty solid winning record when he does, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I agree. And look, this is a guy that we already know he's really good. Why create another hole? Like Braylon Allen, maybe he's good, but he's coming off surgery next year.
Braylon Allen is not as good as Breece Hall.
No, not even close. And we're going to have a rookie quarterback next year. So if you didn't trade Breece Hall, at the bare minimum, he's either tagged, so he's here no matter what, or you work out an extension to keep him happy for being a good player for you for multiple years now. Yep,
no question about it. And, he was the unsung hero yesterday with that, the touchdown. And he was the workhorse. He ran for 83 yards. There was a bunch of times when there was too many tackles for losses yesterday with the Jets. Too many. They tried that one stupid reverse with Mechie that was like an 8-yard loss.
They still get too cute. Just run the ball up the middle. You have a really good offensive line.
That's right. And let the quarterback run the ball more. I mean, that's what he does best. He did have a couple decent runs yesterday. I want to see a little more. If Fields is going to play, I want to see some more of him running the football. But I don't know. Look, I think if this was a normal week, you'd see Tyrod playing this week. I really do.
Well, I wonder this, Joe, because, Glenn is not going to name a quarterback again, I'm sure, this week. And you know what? Maybe there is a legit competitive advantage to not doing that when it is such a short week.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I would actually start Tyrod on Thursday, because we're at a point now with Justin Fields where if you just look at his production in basically half the games that he has played in here, like he's played in 8 games. In 4 of them, he's passed for less than 60 yards. He had 54 yards passing yesterday. And if you take out the Breece Hall screen, then he had 12 passing yards? I would actually start Tyrod, because at the bare minimum, especially if you're not going to have Garrett, like you're going to need to score points to beat New England to have a chance. And you have to evaluate these other players on the team. And if you have no passing offense, how do you evaluate what you necessarily have in A.D. Mitchell if he's out there Thursday, or John Mechie, seeing development from Mason Taylor? Like, it's almost, if you want to run a just functional NFL offense, you almost have to consider going to Tyrod, because Fields, there's too many games where it's like a starting pitcher right away who doesn't have it. Like, if he's off early, it never gets better. And all of a sudden, it's like, oh, here we go, a game where you can't complete a pass. You can't run an offense.
And you saw plays yesterday, and again yesterday, you saw it with him, where he had time to throw and just was afraid to throw the ball. There was one time when I think even Adam Archuleta alluded to this. He had Arian Smith with a little separation on one play where he had time to throw it. He never threw the ball, and he wound up getting sacked. And I'll tell you, he did throw the one pick. He finally threw an interception. It'd be nice if we ever had it. The one thing about the defense yesterday, 6 sacks, and as well as they played, can they force a turnover somewhere?
It's amazing. It's amazing. No picks all year.
They have 1 turnover all year. They haven't had an interception all year, 9 games. It's really mind-boggling. Brownlee dropped the one he should have had yesterday near the goal line. But it really is amazing how this team does not have only has 1 turnover and no interceptions all year. Really amazing.
Yeah.
But
it's
getting back to Fields,
Mhm.
there's still too many times he holds the ball too long. He's afraid to throw the ball. I mean, you can't have that with an NFL quarterback, bro. Come on.
It's unreal they won because the Browns outjetted the Jets. I mean, Joe, imagine what we'd be saying if the Jets did what the Browns did with the jumping off sides and the ridiculous, defensive holding on a play that didn't involve the guy. Oh my God.
16, bro. That was the game. We know. I'm saying to myself, after we what did we say? It was 26. How about this too? All right. They kicked that field goal to make it 27. No, it wasn't even that. How about the play call? They had a 4th and 1, Cleveland, down 27-20 in the closing minutes. 4th and 1 in Jet territory. They're running the ball down our throat the whole time. And Stefanski calls for a pass, and McDonald sacks him. What? What was that? I mean, I heard people talking about Stefanski coming to the Jets. I mean, what are you, nuts?
I was one of them. I wanted the offensive guy with experience. I got to rethink
what was
that.
That play call? 4th and 1, you're running the ball down our throats, and you throw a pass there, and he gets sacked, and then you hit it on the head. 3rd and 16 with an illegal contact. Unbelievable. And then, obviously, jumping offside to end the game when you knew the Jets were never snapping it on 3rd and 5. I guess it was 3rd and 5. And these idiots jump offside to seal the win. Next thing you know, Fields is kneeling in victory formation. So, it was nice to see another team do what we see the Jets do far too often, bro. You know what I mean?
It's amazing. There's always these stats when the Jets have painful losses. There's one for the Browns, and this is like the first time I can remember the Jets actually being on the other end.
Sort of stat, yes.
Unreal. Since 1950, teams have been 225-0 when holding opponents to 175 or fewer yards and not turning the ball over. The Browns are the first team to lose in that span. Like, you can't make it up. It's why I'm glad they won, because the team's got to learn how to win, and it does say something that they won after the bye. But now it's like you look ahead to Thursday. If you want to show that these last 2 wins against these Ohio teams, it's not just a product of bad teams you're playing. Like, go out there and be competitive Thursday night. Maybe the Patriots overlook you coming off this great win over Tampa and just, we're playing the Jets. Who cares?
Well,
like, they're 10.5-point underdogs. I just saw the opening line on FanDuel. Like, no one's going to think they have a chance. Like, prove us wrong.
Well, I would feel better about this game if it was Sunday and not Thursday. I have to say that, especially a Thursday game on the road, because you can make a case. New England is due. I mean, they've won 7 in a row. They're coming off a big road win in Tampa that really most people didn't. I certainly didn't think they were going to go down here and win. So you could say that, like you said. I mean, if it was a Sunday game, I'd feel a lot better about it. I just think it's a very tough spot on a Thursday up in Foxborough on a short week. So, but we'll see. Let me see them be competitive and get after it. Let's see more of what we saw in this pass rush. Like we saw yesterday, McDonald, Jermaine Johnson, Quincy Williams. I mean, the defensive line, they played a heck of a game on Sunday, without a doubt.
Joe, I was thinking of you when Will McDonald had the 4 sacks because they showed it. He tied the Jets single-game sacks record, and the guys that also have had 4 sacks, they gave John Abraham in 2001 and Mark Gastineau, who did it twice. And you were a big, hey, no one should wear 99 if you're a Jet. Right. And McDonald changed his number. Now he channeled his inner Gastineau anyway on Sunday.
I love that. And I'll tell you something else, too. Fastenou should change 74 because, we saw the celebration on the untimely death of the great Nick Mangold yesterday. It's time for Fastenou. It's time for the Jets to retire that number. And certainly if he gets into the Hall of Fame, that number should be retired. So I think that Ole Fastenou, who, by the way, he held his own with Garrett. Garrett beat him one time badly yesterday, went right around him. But, Garrett's the best pass rusher in the end, best defensive end in the game. He had, 4 sacks last week himself, maybe even 5. So I would, if I'm Ole, I would go to a different number. I really would.
Yeah. I think it should be retired. I'm right there with you. And even on that sack, by the way, if you watch it back, like, Fields held on to it as he normally does
did.
for a very long time. I thought the O-line was, all things considered, I thought they were great yesterday. I mean, they only won because they were able to run the ball. They didn't have any like fumbles that could have cost them. And obviously Brees made a special play, which is why he needs to be back. No matter who the quarterback is next year, he helps you win games.
Brees is a great back, and if he played for a real good team, look out about what he'd be doing. So, and he's having a really good year. And like I said, you got to check out the numbers when he scores a touchdown. They usually win. But anyway,
I think I have it here, by the way. Hollywood Real used StatMuse, which is a credible site. He says the Jets are 19-30 when Brees scores a rushing touchdown.
Is that right?
It sounds bad, but I'll tell you what. Think about it, though.
That.
I honestly, though, like, what's the record when he doesn't score a touchdown? It's probably way worse,
They're only 11 games under 500 when he's. No, I thought it was better than that, but I'm wrong. But what are you going to do? But they gotta pay him. There's no doubt about it. But it was you got to enjoy. By the way, I got to say this too, okay? And I used to kill when Spiro Ditas did a Jet game. Okay, to me, it was money in the bank. We were losing the game. Well, now we've won 2 in a row with Spiro Ditas during the game. So maybe Spiro should do every game. He's not going to do the game Thursday. It's going to be Al Michaels and Herb Street. But maybe Spiro should do more Jet games. You know what I mean?
They're undefeated with Spiro.
With him doing the games now.
That's right. Yeah, him and Adam Archuleta used to be like the kiss of death, and then that's how you know the Jets are bad again, because you're getting the D and C level crews for these games. We're not getting Nance and Romo or Ian Eagle and JJ Watt now outside of like the beginning of the year for these games.
Right. No doubt.
Oh man, comments, questions, super chats. They'll cut the line if you want to get your comment read by Joe and I as we talk about the Jets winning a game. Peter Castro says, "Can you imagine if we could just complete a pass?" That's why, like, we could joke about it because they won. But I'm telling you, if Glenn actually wanted to do like a real like competitive advantage and catch the Patriots potentially off guard, short week, throw Tyrod Taylor out there and completely catch him off guard.
I couldn't agree more. Look, I'm sure Fields is pretty banged up too. I mean, he took a lot of shots again yesterday. I don't think it's crazy to this idea that you can't start Taylor because it's a short week. I think it's just the opposite, to be very honest. And like I said, I'm sure Fields is banged up pretty good coming off this game yesterday. He got hit. He took plenty of hits in the game yesterday.
For sure. And if you are going to play Fields, you almost have to design like the entire offense being like, listen, man, we're going to run you a lot because you're going to get 10 days to recover in between games. Because their only chance of really winning is obviously they got to score points, but they got to have a long, possession dominant running game to keep Drake May off the field and win a low scoring type of ugly game.
And they got to play defense, bro. They got to have a big defensive effort. Dare I say it? They're right. Now, we lost A.Z. Thomas yesterday. Got hurt early in the game with a concussion. We'll see whether he comes back or not. But, I thought Sherwood had a really good game yesterday. I thought he played well. Quincy, obviously. McDonald. The defense. And let's be real. Can we be real about this? Do they really miss Gardner or Williams? Of course they don't. They really don't miss it. And
against better teams, they will, but it was still the right move to get what they got for them.
But let me just say this about
Dylan Gabriel stinks. We also can be honest about that.
Yes, that is true. But let me say this about Sauce. He dropped another pick yesterday.
He cost me money, Joe. I had the bet plus 700 Sauce to get a pick.
Did you?
Yeah, I figured SOJ, of course, will have his first interception when he's not playing for the Jets anymore, and he had it in his hands. He dropped.
And not only does he drop the pick, he also got beat by Drake London for a touchdown where he basically
on the 2-point conversion. Yep,
broke his. Was that a 2-pointer?
Yeah,
basically broke his ankles on that play. So unbelievable. So I don't look. I'm telling you right now, these trades, I am delirious about these trades. I think if you're a Jet fan, you got to be. But again. Get over the fact of lose. Get over the fact of a higher draft pick. That is bullshit, okay? And if you're a legitimate football guy, you should know it by now. And aren't you tired of losing? You really want to keep losing? No, you don't. You want to see if we have a coach with this guy. You can say whatever you want about Glenn, but we got to find out because we really don't know. As bad as the start as it was, I want to know that we got a coach. And I thought yesterday, too, bro, something I thought was telling after the game. You see the difference in his demeanor after this game? He wasn't trying to be an a-hole to the media after the game yesterday. He was a lot more contrite, I thought, yesterday after the game. And that's a good sign.
Look, winning cures all, right? It's the greatest deodorant. We're focusing on the positives and not, how bad it was to, not – like, because if they lost, Joe, think about it. Like, it's 17-17 at halftime. But if you take out the great special teams touchdowns, they scored 3 points and Fields had -5 net passing at halftime. And all we're talking about is, again, Aaron Glenn not having a feel for his team to replace the quarterback. But because it was tied, that bought him time to not make a change. I don't think he wanted to create a quarterback controversy on a short week. So he stuck with Fields as long as he could. His defense backed him, and Brees made a play. But it just shows you, like, the focus completely changes when you win games. And that's all we want. We just want to see improvement in this team learning how to win.
By the way, can I see more passes to Brees Hall? I mean, can I see more screen passes?
Yes.
Well, they threw one pass to him yesterday. He took it to the house. Can I see more passes to Hall? Give me can they do that, please?
We've been waiting for them to do that all year, and it never made any sense why they didn't. But better late than never. Maybe Angstram's starting to turn a corner and learn how to call an offense. But
he's a young coordinator too, so like I said, I mean, look, it didn't get off to a good start, but I want to see it end well. I want to see us win. Like I said, there's no reason. They got 8 games to go. I want to see 4-4 to finish the season, and I don't think that's unrealistic, bro. I really don't.
Look, Cleveland always felt like a game they definitely could win. Yes. New England, Baltimore, in all likelihood, no. But Atlanta at home is winnable. Miami at home is winnable. At New Orleans certainly is winnable.
Even Jacksonville. Jacksonville is not a winnable game.
That is too. Yep.
There's some great team. Give me a break.
Yep.
We can win that game too. So excuse me. Go 4-4. Even 3-5 wouldn't be terrible. But I want to win some games the rest of the way.
I think it's important, and I understand people want the quarterback, but the other teams around the Jets in the draft, they're going to win some games too. And by the way, Tennessee and New Orleans, they play one another. The Giants, I'm sure they'll win another game or so down the stretch. We'll see what happens with Jackson Dart, how long he's potentially out for.
We'll see if Brian Dable's still here. Never mind.
He's got to go.
After blowing another one yesterday.
Yeah, I know we're not a Giant show, but my God, Joe, Brian Dable's got to go, and so should Joe Shane. They got a completely clean house there. They got the quarterback. Thank you for that. That's it.
Though, you say Joe Shane's got to go. I mean, this guy drafted Dart. This guy drafted Scatterboo. This guy drafted Neighbors. This guy brought in Burns as a pass rusher. He drafted Abdul Carter, although he hasn't been so great so far. He's made some pretty good draft picks. So I don't know if I'd be in such a hurry to get rid of the general manager.
Most of his picks have been pretty terrible, though. Like, look at the Evan Neal draft, for example, or the 2023 draft after that. They have no depth of receiver. Look, you could argue he should stay, but they're so bad. I mean, they're 2-8 for the third year in a row. At some point, just start over.
I understand.
Yep. It's crazy. I mean, what a wild day in the NFL. You already brought it up. I mean, Miami beating Buffalo. That's why, to all the Jet fans who are so concerned about draft positioning, these other teams are also going to win games too. The Jets aren't the only team that's capable of winning a game here with 8 to go.
Right. I mean, of course they're going to win games. And I love what Miami. I hate the Dolphins, but I love what they did to the Bills. And let's be honest, the bloom is coming off Buffalo's rose. That window, that Super Bowl window is closing fast. And now they're not even the best team in the division. Now there's a long ways to go yet, but looks like New England's has gone by them now. Buffalo's defense is not great. He doesn't have any great receivers. He's got a couple good tight ends, but who's the best receiver? What's his name? Shakir? Is he the best receiver? I mean, they don't have any great receivers there in Buffalo. So I know Cook is a really good back, but I think the blooms come off their rose. And you look at teams like the Colts. You look at teams like New England. What they're doing right now. I mean, are these teams Super Bowl teams? I don't know. I still put my money on the Chiefs when all is said and done.
It's crazy too.
Denver's another one. Denver. I watched a lot of that game. Boy, I'll tell you, man, Denver's offense against the Raiders was not good. Now they beat the crap out of Geno Smith in that game. If you watched it, he got the crap beat out of him. But I'm not sold on the Broncos either. Even
they might be the worst 8-2 team I've ever watched. They're 8-2. It's crazy.
They lost. Let's be honest. Denver should have lost to the Jets in London. They should have lost to the Giants. You can even make a case they should have lost this game yesterday on Thursday. So, we'll see. And by the way, Denver plays the Chiefs this week. That's a big game. I think it's in Denver. A big game in the AFC. I still would not bet against Patrick Mahomes.
You look at the Chiefs, by the way. And the season doesn't end today, but technically they'd be outside looking into the playoffs, I believe. They're on their bye this week.
They're in the hunt column right now.
Some super chats here. Rick Kent writes in, who knew the key to unlocking Will McDonald was getting rid of Quinn and happy victory Monday to all? I think, Rick, it wasn't even that. I think it was this was the first time all season the Jets had a double-digit lead. And when you have that type of lead, that's when you can unlock a great pass rusher, which McDonald, he's not an all-around player, but he's really good at rushing the QB. And we saw that yesterday.
Yep. Yeah, he was dominant yesterday. There's no question about it. Remember, he got a big sack last week of Flacco, too, 2 weeks ago, late in the game against the Bengals. So maybe he's coming on, bro. Let's see it.
Let's see. Tyrese writes in, so sad another year of a bunch of one-possession losses, which I think falls under the category of coaching, which is why winning yesterday, a tight game that ended up coming down to the wire, you needed to get a stop. Like that to me is a positive sign for coaching, and hopefully they continue to build on it.
Well, they got to learn how to win. I mean, this team needs to learn. There's been so much losing over the years with this franchise. This team needs to learn how to win. They got a young team, a lot of young players on this team. They get a quarterback. Maybe they got something. So let's see. That's why I say we need to win games. They have to learn how to win games. No question about that.
Now, when you were watching the Sunday night game, were you surprised to see the Steelers get completely shut down by the Chargers last night?
I didn't watch the whole game. I did watch the first half. Rodgers had a terrible game. He got nailed to that safety, threw a big pick in the game that turned into a touchdown for the Chargers. Look at him. He is 41 years old.
I think 5-4 right now, so they're still in it, but the Ravens are coming quick.
Ravens are coming fast. I think the big problem with Pittsburgh is their defense isn't any good. I mean, we're so used to seeing the Steelers with a dominant defense. They're not that anymore, bro. Not at all.
Yep.
And I think that's their biggest problem, to be honest with you.
Comments, questions, super chats, they will cut the line. Joe, I love going down, memory lane when it relates to the Jets because your memory for things that happened in the 60s, 70s is unbelievable. So the Jets yesterday was their fewest net passing yards in a win since 1973. It was week 5 against the Patriots. They had 0 that day. Is there any chance you actually remember that game, week 5, 1973 against the Patriots?
I got to say, I don't remember it well, and I'll tell you why, because at that point, I was in college. I was in Indiana, and it wasn't like I was watching every Jet. I was getting the Jets every week in Indiana. I was getting the Bears and the Bengals every week when I was going to school there. But that's a game I really don't remember. I do remember that 1973 was not a good year for us. I think we went. What did we go? 4-10 that year. I think we were 4-10. I think that was the record, right? 4-10.
Let's see. The
73?
Jets, you nailed it. 4-10 in 1973.
Yeah. So not a very good. Namath got hurt in that year too. That was one of the years Namath was injured as well. So that didn't help.
Only started 5 games that year.
Right. By the way, I want to throw this out there too, as far as this idea. And I think I talked about this with you last week. I don't want Joe Burrow. I'm not giving up 3 number ones for Joe Burrow. Forget about it. He gets hurt all the time. I've heard of Kyler Murray. I want no part of Kyler Murray. Please. He's a little out there. Give me a break. I mean, Jacoby Brissett I know they got killed by Seattle yesterday. He's better than Murray. I want no part of those guys. And I'll say this again. I said it on my podcast. I've been saying it to anybody who'll listen. I want my own quarterback. You look at the history of this franchise. Anytime they brought in a quarterback outside of maybe Vinny Testaverde from another team, it never works out. It didn't work out with Neil O'Donnell. It didn't work out with Boomer Esiason. It didn't work out with Brett Favre. And it didn't work out with Aaron Rodgers. I want my own quarterback. All right? None of this, bring in. No. I want to draft my own guy and develop him. And hopefully he turns into the right guy.
Did you watch Fernando Mendoza, Ty Simpson, and Dante Moore on Saturday?
I watched bits and pieces of all of them. I saw the winning drive by Mendoza against Penn State, which was phenomenal. And the kid, whoever caught the game-winning pass, what a great toe tap he did. He would have been good in an NFL game too. He got both feet in. I did watch. I watched the second half of the Oregon-Iowa game. And I'll tell you what, I didn't think Dante Moore was great, but he made a couple passes where he put the ball, one where the guy dropped it for them, but I mean, he put the ball into an impossible window, including on the game-winning field goal drive where he made an unbelievable throw. So I was impressed by him. I didn't watch a lot of Alabama on Saturday night, but I've watched a lot of Simpson so far this year, and I like him a lot. Right now, I would put him number 2 to Mendoza, this year coming out. I still like Arch Manning a lot. Interesting game. And you should watch this game, Jet fans, on Saturday. They play Georgia on Saturday, Texas. I believe the game is in Austin. So I think that'll be an interesting game and a big test for Manning and the Longhorns. So that's an interesting game to watch. So, but Mendoza looks like the real deal right now. But you know what, bro? Who knows? Nobody knows.
That's it. I mean, and so much of it, as we've learned, comes down to the situation they're put in, which is why learning how to win and keeping your good players like a Breece Hall and actually having an offensive line in place, that can help any quarterback. And here's what I love too, by the way. So the Jets seemingly now with these 5 first-round picks over the next 2 years, how great is it that, knock on wood, that there's no injuries here, you don't have to use any of those 5 first-round picks on an offensive tackle because you feel good with Olu and Membu going forward.
Right. That's right. You don't. 100%. Now, you need a receiver. I don't think there's any doubt about it.
Desperately. Yep.
Yeah, they need that. They need more help on defense. You want to get somebody else in the secondary. I can
Safety,
see that.
Yep.
Even another linebacker, something along those lines. No doubt about it. But, obviously the quarterback is number one. It comes down to that, bro. It comes down to the right guy at quarterback. It really does.
Coach and quarterback. I mean, New England's rebuild, it all of a sudden ended when they got Mike Vrabel to go with Drake May.
Yep.
Chargers with Herbert. I mean, they got Harbaugh, and then all of a sudden, now they're winning again. Like, you get those two, everything else takes care of the rest.
It does. It's all about that. No question.
Some super chats here, and then we'll wrap up with Joe. And also, let's do a giveaway on a Victory Monday. A Jets Legends jersey. Joe, we can't do a current player. They might be traded. So we got Joe Namath.
That's a good one. There you
Joe
go.
Klecko, Curtis, Corbett, Revis, and Mangold.
Wow. You see, those jerseys you could wear forever as a Jet. You know what
Timeless.
I mean? Now, these are jerseys. The guys that are on the team now, it's always hit and miss. I told you I had to get rid of my Source Gardner jerseys,
I heard the shout out on your podcast. The Rodgers jerseys off to Goodwill as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, I wore the Breece Hall jersey yesterday, by the way, and it worked out pretty good. So
you gotta wear it Thursday. Keep it rolling.
Well, I don't know if I'm going to do that. I wore Mangold. I'll wear a different jersey. That's I like to wear different jerseys.
You're not superstitious. If it works, you keep running it out there.
No, because it generally doesn't work too long.
That is true.
Dan, I will go with either. I haven't made a decision yet. I like because I when we play the Patriots, I like to go with a New England theme. So I'll probably wear either Curtis Martin or Revis, one of the two.
Love it. Can't go wrong with that. Not saying we win our last 8, but if we beat New England and Kansas City loses to Denver and Jacksonville loses to the Chargers, we'll be 2 games back in the 7th seed, play meaningful games down the stretch.
Relax. Relax. Look, would I love to see? I'd love to beat New England. I mean, would I love to see them beat the damn Patriots, especially when they're on a 7-game winning streak? I just don't. Like I said, if this game was on a Sunday, I'd feel a lot better about it. I think it's an impossible spot on a short week in Foxborough. I think that's very tough, and it's going to be and they're not going to beat the Ravens either. So, but there are games that are like they say that are in their weight class that they can win, and I want to see that, and I want to see them be competitive, on Thursday and against Baltimore. I want to see a game. Give these teams a game, bro.
Completely agree. Ant Bank says, just when I thought I was out, they pull me back in.
Yeah. Well, you're never really out, This is our team. We're never really out.
That's the problem. Where are we going,
Where are we going, And I laugh, people say, wow, you should root for another team. What are you talking about? People don't get this. You got an emotional attachment to this team. I've been rooting for this team since 1965. You think that rooting for all of a sudden what am I going to become a Chief fan? Rooting for a team all of a sudden that another team, and winning with them is going to be the same as it would be to win with the Jets? Forget it. Forget about it. It would be winning with we ever win. If I'm on this earth to see another Super Bowl victory, hopefully you will be. Hopefully, forget it. There would be nothing to compare to that, bro. There would be no sports thing. Not the Knicks winning a championship. As much as I love the Mets, not them winning again, the Rangers winning again, there would be nothing to compare to a Jets Super Bowl victory. What you would feel, the emotions that you would have if they finally win one, even just getting to one. I mean, come on, let's be honest. What would it be like? I long for this to happen. I really do. I hope I'm on the earth for this to happen. To be sitting there, in the cold at MetLife Stadium, or maybe in our own stadium someday. That's not happening. But in the cold at MetLife, as we are winning the AFC Championship, and to what that would be like. Can you imagine that? I know winning the Super Bowl was the end-all be-all, but could you imagine that moment? We're sitting and freezing our asses off at the Meadowlands as they are winning the AFC Championship. What would that be like, bro?
Man.
And we know that we're going. Man, we're going. Could you imagine that feeling, bro? I mean, I tell you, man, it's been, look, like I always say, I was 15 years old when we won that Super Bowl, and as great as it was, there's no way that I appreciated that like I would appreciate the one that would finally happen as I'm sitting here at 72 years old. You know what I mean, bro? So I don't know what else to tell you. There would be nothing. There would be nothing to compare to that. Like I said, the emotions, it would be an extremely emotional moment. There's no doubt about it.
Oh, it's tough to fathom or even picture what it would look like, but like the energy in that building, if the Jets ever had a home AFC Championship, it's just you couldn't lose. Is like this is the moment all of us are waiting for. Like forget winning the Super Bowl, just to get there, to get a chance to do it at home. I can't even imagine it.
That would be unbelievable, no question about it. Yep.
V-Man says, Joe, I told Jake if we draft the Cuban QB, Fernando Mendoza, I, as a Puerto Rican, promised to do a salsa dance on the show. V-Man referenced you. He loved your Victor Cruz salsa after the Jets beat the Giants, which, by the way, came after a Jet bye week. That was the only other win over the last 10 years.
Was that after the bye as well?
Yeah.
That was Saladin that won there.
It was. Yep, 2023. Yeah. Me, you, and Kenny in the rain watching that.
Oh, that was unbelievable. What a day that was. Leaving the building as Gano was missing the field goal. Oh, my God. And watching the end of the game in the overtime outside on the big screen.
Unreal.
How crazy was that, man?
Unreal. I might have the salsa clip. Where is this at? Hold on.
You got that. I know you do.
I got it. Oh, here we go.
Here it is. Little Victor Cruz dance. Oh, Victor. Woo. We're doing a little salsa, baby. Yeah. Woo.
The last win after the bye, that game.
I'll tell you, bro, I got more moves than X-Lax. I mean, you have no idea. I mean, even for an old man, the old boy can still shake and bake. I can tell you right now. Still shake it and bake it.
Bang Mateo is one of the tankers, Joe, so you have to address him head on here. Joe, you can't get Simpson or Mendoza by winning games.
Stop it, bro. Wake up and smell. You want to keep losing? Is that all you want to do? What's his name?
Bang Mateo. Yep.
Oh, Bam Mateo.
Bang.
Come on, Bang. You want to win games? You want to keep losing? Do you want to see if we got a real head coach or not? And how many games are we winning? You're still getting a high draft choice. So relax. And you know this too. I don't know if Simpson's the real deal. I don't know if Mendoza's the real deal. All I know is this. You got to get the right guy. So stop rooting against them. Okay? I'm tired of that. Aren't you tired of losing? Don't you feel good today that they actually won a goddamn game? Give me a break. I love these guys like that. Oh, yeah. That's your whole life. For who we picking in the draft? I want to win. I'm tired of it.
I'm right there with you, Joe. Well said. We doing this Friday morning after maybe a second win?
I'm sure. I don't feel good about this game at all.
Me neither.
Like you said, they're already 10.5 point underdogs. I would feel better if it was a Sunday game, and I would say, okay, New England's due to lose, man. Maybe we catch them, and maybe we do. I mean, I think Tyrod Taylor should play in this game. I just don't see how Justin Fields gives us the best chance to win on Thursday night. I don't see it.
Completely agree. And look, if Glenn really wants to show some balls, you pull the surprise going to Tyrod after that. All of a sudden, that is a real competitive advantage. You can be an a-hole with the media this week if you want to play that game.
Right? Why not?
I love it.
Yep.
Joe, enjoy your Victory Monday. All the love.
All right, baby. God bless. God bless America. Talk to you on Friday.
Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Benigno in his weekly spot on a Victory Monday. Reminder, we got a raffle at the end of the show. You pick the player you want. Joe Namath, Joe Klecko, Curtis Martin, Wayne Krebet, Darrell Rivas, and the great Nick Mangold. I want to say this again. I said it yesterday for those who caught the postgame show. Shout out to the Jet organization for how they handled the Nick Mangold tribute. I heard from a bunch of listeners that they did a great job. They obviously had Nick's family there on the field. DeBrickashaw Ferguson was there. He said some great words about Nick to the crowd. So great job by the Jets putting that together, having the decal on the helmet, which was sick, having the shirts for all the fans there, all the players and coaches wearing the mangled shirt during pregame warmups was a nice touch. So we criticize the Jets when they deserve it, and we give them credit when they earn it. And I thought they did a great job with the Nick Mangold pregame ceremony. I want to talk about Justin Fields for a moment. If I'm Aaron Glenn, I'm starting Tyrod Taylor on Thursday in this game. Folks, look at the numbers here. In half of Fields' starts, he's passed for less than 60 yards. I get it. They paid him. They believe in him. You know what? Let's be real. Tyrod was going to start the game against Cincinnati if he was healthy enough to start. I mean, the owner said what he said. So Glenn's not worried about, oh, well, can he bench Justin Fields because they're paying him money? No, Woody's on board with it. If they make that move, Woody's on board with whatever Glenn wants to do. If I'm the Jets, I would start Tyrod Taylor Thursday. He gives the team a better chance to win. And also, beyond just trying to win, which is obviously the goal, here is what needs to be said, right, about where the Jets are at at this point of the season with 8 games to go. The Jets need to do things that allow them to properly evaluate who's going to actually be here after this season. And what I mean by that is this. Can you evaluate A.D. Mitchell, John Mechie? Can you evaluate the other players on this team? If you can't run a conventional offense, you can't pass the football. There's like a 50% chance Justin Fields is going to be so bad that he is unplayable. That's been the case in the Bills game, the Broncos game, the Panthers game, and the Browns game. Half his starts, he's been unplayable. Right? So I need to evaluate what I have on this team. I need to evaluate my roster. I can't do that if I don't have a quarterback who can complete a pass, to quote the owner. Like, folks, Justin Fields, give him credit for how he played against Cincinnati after what Woody said. What Woody said was outrageous for an owner to say it. But he's not wrong with what he said. He just shouldn't say it publicly. We know Justin Fields can't play. The Jets yesterday had 42 net passing yards. 42. They won. It's the first time once again, I just said it to Joe, it's the first time the Jets have won a game with that little net passing since 1973. It's not sustainable. It's nice to win. Good to see the O-line play well. Brees do his thing. Good to see players on defense that are going to be here, like a Will McDonald, have a great game. But if you want to actually compete against the Patriots Thursday and cover that 10.5-point number, you have to start Tyrod Taylor. If you take away the Brees Hall touchdown where Fields threw a screen, Justin Fields had how many yards? Do the math. He finished with 54 yards. If you remove the 42-yard screen, he had 12 total passing yards. The Jets had 0 net passing outside of that play. He only had 2 completions beyond the line of scrimmage. I would start Tyrod. He's had plenty of time to get healthy. He hasn't taken a hit since the Carolina game. That was weeks ago at this point. Start Tyrod on Thursday. He gives you the best chance to win. Larry says, we all know Fields has been terrible. He's playing Thursday. It's the right decision. How is it the right decision, Larry? You're Mr. All About Winning Games, right? Justin Fields is not their best option to win. And if Aaron Glenn is serious about accountability, which he says he is, and playing the guys that give the team the best chance to win, then that's clearly Tyrod Taylor. And it's not to say Tyrod's great, but at least with Tyrod, Tanner Engstrand could take the handcuffs off himself and call an offense. I don't think we can evaluate Engstrand properly with Fields at quarterback because they don't want to run Fields. The whole point I thought of having Justin Fields was that this offense was going to be designed around his strengths as a passer, or as a runner, excuse me. That the Jets were going to be able to have design quarterback runs to keep the defense honest and set things up in the passing game. We saw that for one game this year. Pittsburgh, they had a bunch of design runs for Fields that day, and ever since Fields got concussed week 2, they now don't want to run him. They need to make a change at quarterback. I don't think Glenn will do it, but the leash should be short for Fields Thursday night in New England. Like, if you're going to have any shot in this game, I don't think Fields gives you any chance. PBM, they chose Fields. Yeah, and you know what? They can move on for Fields, which they're going to in the offseason anyway. And by the way, Allen called in with his obnoxious tone, belittling Jet fans yesterday, and said, oh, they could just get rid of Justin Fields. No, it's not as easy as just cutting him with a post-June 1st designation. We looked into the contract after the show. The Jets, because of the void years on the deal, they still incur $13 million plus $3 million per year for the next couple of years after it. It's not as easy as, oh, you just cut him and then that's it. He doesn't hurt your cap anymore. It was a bad contract. Look at the money that Sam Darnold signed when he went to the Vikings. Look at the money Daniel Jones signed when he went to the Colts. That should have been the contract they signed Fields to. They completely overpaid, and they're paying the price for it. They will next year on their cap. Daniel Jones signed for $14 million, 13 of it guaranteed. 1-year deal. They completely overpaid on that Fields deal. To me, without a shadow of a doubt, it should be Tyrod Thursday. It should be. I mean, it'd be nice to see Glenn do that. That would show me something. That'd be a real surprise. Jersey just says, Joe B, you should teach 47 how to dance. Imagine that montage of those two dancing together. College question, super chats. They'll cut the line. Hey, shout out to Festa. He's our guy down in Tampa, the president of the Jet fan club down there. He says the Jets gave you the best 60th birthday present I could have asked for. I'll win. Hey, Festa, that's awesome, man. Happy birthday. Happy 60th to Festa, one of the greats. Manny in Tampa, speak of the devil. He just became a channel member. He's in our raffle for one. Let me remind people that I am going to do the weekly raffle on the show tomorrow. Thought about maybe waiting till next Friday after the game, but we'll do it tomorrow. Why not? We got 3 prizes up for grabs. Signed Darrelle Revis football, signed Joe Klecko helmet with the Hall of Fame inscription in there, and a signed Wayne Corbett Mr. Third Down inscription football. So those are the 3 prizes. Enter the raffle, and you have a chance to win. Also, if you don't win the weekly prize, well, how about a daily prize? End of the show today, Mangold, Revis, Corbett, Curtis, Klecko, Namath, you pick. So keep that in mind. All right, I'm going to open it up to your calls here. Right now, there's only one person on hold. We have the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline link that is actually pinned in the comments for you all to see. Ladies and gentlemen, first up today is our guy, the Kyle Clifton.
Hey, Jake, how are you?
Hello, Kyle.
So, I think all second-year quarterbacks have bumps in the road. I don't care if Drake May is someone who is, atop the odds board for MVP right now. Any given Sunday, anyone can be had. That doesn't mean we're going to necessarily win on Sunday, but yeah, we should do what we can to win the game. I'm not particularly enthralled with this quarterback class so far. Maybe I'll change as I learn more about it. As new information becomes available, I'll have to admit that I haven't seen too much of these guys. I'm focusing right now more on their limitations, and I think that when you're talking about a top 10 pick, if you take a quarterback, you want to make sure that that's as close to a slam dunk as humanly possible. That said, I understand why you and others want to take the quarterback this year. I know trading up is an option, but I don't want to have to spend valuable draft capital to go up and get a guy if he's not going to be special.
How do we know these guys won't be special, though, right? Like Dart was thought to be a project and wouldn't be ready to play right away, and he looks the best of any of these young quarterbacks we've seen. over the last few years. He's been as good this year as some of the guys that have had success right away, right? Like,
No, and we don't, right? And what I'm basically saying is we have to trust the evaluation process, and we're going to put our faith in Muji. Then, because to be frank with you, he's been pretty good, Muji. And I'm willing to take the ride with him.
especially on
More,
trades, which does give me
yeah,
a little confidence in the draft. Although, it's interesting because the draft trades they made a year ago, they were all on day 3. Those haven't been good, but the in-season trades have been his best trait, especially extracting value for Sauce and Quinnen now. So I wonder if in-season trades is different than his draft day trades, because you might need to be really good at a draft day trade if they're going to nail this quarterback decision.
right. I mean, I'm more so willing to take the ride with him than I am with Glenn, based on what we've seen so far. And if they feel the need to go up and get a quarterback, and the price is right, by all means, we should do that. See if we can develop our own guy, and we should be open to a veteran if someone as special as Burrow were to come available. Of course, that goes without saying, I think. I want to elaborate a little bit more on what I was talking about yesterday with Will McDonald. I understand that he's got the 5th-year option, and it's not truly the last year of his deal. I felt like last year's sack total was a little soft. There was a lot of happenstance that kind of went into it. A lot of stuff that the sacks came in bunches against weaker competition. I'm seeing a little bit more of that the same this year. I think your point's well taken. Over the last 8 games or whatever it is, if he can continue to show the improvement, and that he can be part of the future, maybe he can put on another couple of pounds in the offseason and maintain that's the same athleticism, and eventually become a guy that's not the liability against the run. And then maybe he can get that next contract, if not from us or from somebody else. But what I'm saying is, this guy Glenn is dead set on remaking the team in his own image, and that's why you see guys like Sauce going away in trades.
Also the value, though, right? Like, I
Yeah.
think if they got an unbelievable package for Will McDonald, he would have been expendable. But a 2nd-round pick reportedly is all they got. I think it was even for Jermaine. I don't know if that was even available for Will. I think that's why they didn't trade Jermaine, for example.
Right, and I think value back is the major determining factor, but it's also timeline, right? So, like, there might be a scenario where Will fits into our future. He seems like a good kid. That first year was really a pure developmental year because of how we played in college, and how light he really was, and how he wasn't particularly strong. Maybe they can make him into something. That'll help flip me on Glenn if he can help make Will McDonald into a guy that's not a liability as an every down player, right? It's just that the 5th-year option on him is going to be $15 million a year, and for a guy that the sacks don't seem to be always there, it's a little scary to go in for him long term, or for the 5th-year option, not knowing if he can be relied upon. And that's not just me. I feel like Glenn might feel that way.
He could.
And
It comes
yeah,
down to value, though. I think clearly they have a price for these guys. But to me, my fear, Kyle, you don't want to create another hole if you don't have to. They have enough holes now to fix with this defense and supplement the offense around a rookie. Like, if Will McDonald does what is super valuable really well, which is rush the QB, and you have him under contract for 2 more years, you pick up the option, and he's probably a guy that you could trade and get some value back if you're out of it next year, and teams need a pass rusher, which every team does, right? We just saw Jalen, what's his name, go for a 3rd-round pick going from Miami to Philly, for example. I'm keeping him. Like, I'll roll the dice with Will McDonald for another year, knowing I could trade him if next year doesn't go well.
right. And I think the value is probably more in the offseason too, right? We know that there are teams that aren't strictly keeping to the analytics. I'm looking at you, Dallas Cowboys, and, like, if he has another double-digit sack season where it's more cosmetic, maybe there's another team out there that will say, okay, we need to bring in a guy because we think we're close to win, and they'll play they'll pay more of a premium where it makes more sense for them to have him than it does for us. We'll see. Either way, I like Will. I'd be happy to have him on the team, but I'm also very cognizant of the fact that Glenn is going to remake the roster because he has the ability to do so, and that's what we've seen so far. I
Yep.
appreciate your time.
Great call, Kyle. Good perspective. It's an interesting conversation. I think it comes down to value, right? I don't think they just planned on trading Sauce, but they got 2 first-round picks. Someone offers you a package you can't refuse, I think it changes the tenor of the conversation. Jet Life in the raffle for 2 says, I need a Curtis Martin jersey. Well, guess what? You got 2 chances on the Wheel of Champions to now win. Tyrone in the house. He says, call me crazy, but I got a feeling the Jets will beat New England. Go Jets. I'm going to call you crazy, but I hope you're right. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get a W. Hell yeah.
Who want to fly with them Jets?
Aaron Glenn, moments ago, meeting with the media. Don't you dare ask him who his quarterback on Thursday is, but I hope it's Tyrod Taylor. Here's AJ.
Good morning. Coming off going into a short week when it comes to our injuries. The 2 guys that I talked about yesterday after the game, Garrett, still evaluating him, seeing exactly how he's going to come out this week to see if he'll be a part of practice. AZ will be out. He's in the concussion protocol, so he'll be out this week. Other than that, I think we came out pretty well with everybody else. When it comes to the game, again, tough, hard-fought game. Special teams did a hell of a job of making plays, but there were some underlying things that really didn't show up on the stat sheet. Just how well our guys played in the other phases when it comes to special teams as far as coverage, and things like that, and the way that our punter punted the heck out the ball in his net putting. So those things collectively as a group, special teams did a hell of a job. Obviously on offense, there's some things that we got to clean up, but I thought our guys were gritty, tough, ran the ball well against a team that doesn't allow teams to run the ball on them. So I thought that was it was really good by our O-line, running backs, and our receivers blocking. When it comes to our defense, I thought our guys stepped up and made the plays when they need to make them. Obviously, man, the sacks was outstanding, and the way the guys rushed together as a unit really showed up in the game. And I thought our coverage was good for the most part. There were some things that we got to clean up in that aspect also. We had one busted coverage when it came to the red zone. But we'll get that cleaned up with the communication with all the guys. So other than that, I would say this: please don't ask me anything about the quarterback, because I'm not going to tell you, and I don't want to waste my time when it comes to that. When it comes to who's starting. So, any other questions?
On Garrett, Aaron, does that mean some imaging he's going to get on his knee today?
Yes. We go through that whole process as far as imaging, get him checked out by the docs before we really stamp like what the issue is. So, again, hopefully he'll be good to be able to play this week, but I don't want to stamp that just yet.
Aaron, he was on the bike. He was on the bike during the game. Was that a case where there was a chance that it's not anything serious, that he was just kind of working through it?
I mean, again, I want to say exactly what the docs say before I stamp anything as far as that. But, usually when you have that situation, adrenaline's going during the game, but after the game, everything kind of slows down. And, again, I want to see what the docs say.
Aaron, after watching the tape, how would you evaluate?
You're watching Aaron Glenn's Monday Presser. We're going to get back to your calls coming up, so make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. If you tuned in late, Joe Benigno was on with us for the first 45 minutes of the show. So listen back to that if you were just tuning in. Here's the rest of AG's presser, and then we'll get to your calls on the other side.
The way Justin played yesterday.
You know what? Collectively, as an offense, I think we did some good things. The thing is, when you get 2 returns like that on special teams, the offense doesn't have a good amount of plays, especially in the passing game. We only threw 11 passes. I think he was 6 of 11. Obviously, there's some things that we got to clean up there. But there are also some good things that he did. I know he threw the 1 pick. I would say this: I was happy that he tried to force the ball, get the ball downfield in that situation. I thought Cleveland did a hell of a job in that coverage. They ran this inverted 2 where the safety would end up being the middle runner. And I thought they did a good job with that.
Aaron, I'm not going to ask you specifically about who's starting, obviously, because you don't want us to do that. But I am curious:
Is this like a week by week, day by day thing for you? Because it is unusual, having led you guys or helped lead you to 2 wins in a row. Is that, or is this a constant evaluation, I guess is what I'm asking?
Well, I keep telling you guys, between the players and myself, we know exactly who's going to be the quarterback. I mean, I just don't have to tell you guys that.
I understand that, but I mean, what goes into that is what I'm asking.
They practice.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, on the interception that you just referenced,
Yeah.
you said would you like to see more of that aggressiveness this year from him? I mean, even if sometimes it does, there is some risk reward involved, but would you like to see more of him pushing the ball downfield?
Well, that's something that Justin even said. I even said that, man, it's a being controlled but being aggressive. And I thought that was one of the times where, man, he saw Garrett coming on the deep dig route. But again, the safety did a really good job of showing middle close like it was cover 3, but he ended up being the insert player in that situation. And I thought he went to go try to make a play, So absolutely, you want to be aggressive, but you also don't want to be reckless. I think he said that several times.
AG, what did you think about the play your offensive line yesterday? And also, we were encouraged by the fourth quarter where Cleveland knew you guys were going to try to run the ball and you were able to get it done.
Yeah, it was. Listen, I was really excited about that because when you look at what Cleveland was doing, they ran a ton of cover 0 to where they had no middle field safety. Everybody was in the box. And, man, you give credit to the O-line by really getting knocked back and allowing Brees not to be touched for 3 yards. And when he did get tackled, he actually fell for 2, so that was a 5-yard gain. But I'll also say, man, Brees did a hell of a job of making something out of nothing for the most part. Because when you play cover 0, that could be an unblocked players, and Brees did a hell of a job making one guy miss and actually getting the crease and making plays. So it was a combination between the O-line making their blocks in certain situations and then Brees, man, being Superman and making some of those plays. So I was excited about that and happy about the way they did that. Because I could see that happening, with other teams. Obviously, Denver did the same thing. We weren't as effective, but to be able to come back and be able to do that this game, I thought was important for us to show that.
Aaron, obviously you got the win, but how sustainable is it when your quarterback has only 12 yards passing going into the fourth quarter? And I think he only completed 2 passes that went past the line of scrimmage all day. Yeah,
well, again, he only threw 11 passes. And here's what I tell the coaches and players. As coaches, man, we coach to win the game. As players, you play to win the game, however that may be. And sometimes it's not pretty for fantasy players. Sometimes not pretty for the media. The only thing that matters is how we do it. And the W is all that matters. So it's a by any means necessary type of league. And, my plan is to continue to coach to win the game, however that may be. And we're going to continue to do that.
Does there become a concern, Aaron, that teams don't respect your passing game at all? And will
say that one more time?
Is there a concern about teams not respecting your passing game and stacking it even more? I mean, you just referenced Brees, how he did a lot of Superman type things.
Yeah,
like that.
Absolutely. And that's when we got to make teams pay. And again, we only had 11 shots of it yesterday. I think the more we get chances like that, I think we will make them pay. Because when you got a guy like Garrett, and the other receivers that we have that's going to make an impact for us, AD, Metch, Arian, all those guys. I think those guys have the capabilities of going out there winning one-on-one. I mean, we know how Garrett is as a player. So I don't know if that's sustainable even for a defense to come out there and just play cover 0 all the time because you can get burned like that. So, listen, we welcome the challenge. Obviously, we ran the ball, well against cover 0, and I think if we do get that in the passing game, we'll end up making some plays.
Aaron, you just mentioned AD.
Yeah.
Was he just not ready? Was he just not ready to go this week?
Yeah. We want to make sure that he was confident just as well as we were confident of not putting him in a position to just go out there and just make a mistake. So I think with another week of learning our playbook, man, he'll be just fine.
AG, you got a lot of shuffling pieces in the secondary right now. How did the guys respond yesterday? You talked about Malachi stepping up as far as that leadership and the communication role, and then also what's it going to look like on the outside moving ahead without AC?
Well, that's the. I mean, when you play with a certain brand, I think it overcomes injuries and adversity, and no matter who steps in the spot, they know exactly how we play. So Brownlee came in and ended up playing corner for us. Malachi ended up moving down to the nickel. I.O. ended up playing the safety for us. Even Dean, a guy that's been on our practice squad that we signed recently, came in and had a chance to play, and we had our dime packages. So, listen, I make no excuses when it comes to injuries and things like that, because I just focus on our brand of play, and everybody understands exactly how we do that, and expect to go out there and play at a high level.
Can you talk about you're facing obviously a very red-hot team right now.
Yeah, no doubt.
A team that a year ago was down on its luck and turned it around. Can you talk about how they did that and how it shows maybe in this league that 1 year doesn't necessarily run into the next, how things can be flipped?
Yeah, that's a really good point, because I think they went to the offseason and, man, they went in and got a lot of guys that can help them be successful. Obviously, Williams, the D tackle that was in Philly, when he got Carlton Gray, a guy that I'm very familiar with. And they brought a lot of those guys. I mean, Mac Hollins, this is a guy that I just started looking at today, the toughness he brings at the receiver spot and his ability to make these big plays. And, man, the quarterback is playing at a very, very high level, and I think they're creating more explosive plays than any team in the league this year. So you have a combination of that, and I think Vrabel has done a really good job of getting that team to buy into what he's trying to do. So absolutely, you can make a huge change within a year, and I think he's done a good job of that along with the players that he's gotten.
That's Aaron Glenn. All right. We're doing the not gonna name a quarterback game. But I'll tell you what, here's the stats that matter. The Jets are undefeated when Aaron Glenn doesn't announce a starting quarterback. I also would say this week, I do think if Glenn wants to say competitive advantage, it actually could be, because Fields was so bad. If the game was Sunday, I think most of us would expect Tyrod to start. But because the game is Thursday, do you want to make a quarterback change on just a couple days' notice? I still would, because I actually think if you threw Tyrod out there Thursday, maybe it would be a bit of a competitive advantage for the Jets against the Patriots. You need every advantage you can get against a team that's way better than you. That's 10.5 points better than you, according to FanDuel. It's just fascinating that he actually opened his presser trying to preempt questions about who the starting quarterback is going to be. And look, his only defense of Fields there was, well, he only threw, 11 passes? Come on. We could do better than that with the defense, no? I mean, I guess not. I mean, he was pretty terrible. That's all you can come up with. I mean, he had 2 passes in front of the line of scrimmage that were completed yesterday. Breece Hall had the touchdown catch of 42 yards on the screen. You take that away, he had 12 yards passing. I would, without question, bench Justin Fields this week. I need to evaluate my receivers. I need to evaluate my offense. It sounds like A.D. Mitchell's going to be out there Thursday. So can we get a quarterback who could throw the deep ball, which Tyrod could do? Arian Smith was open. Fields didn't throw it to him yesterday. I want to evaluate him. I think you need to start Tyrod, but if you're not going to start Tyrod, the leash for Fields has to be razor thin, man. Like, if you could see early he doesn't have it again, like, there's got to be a change. Sounds like Garrett Wilson has an outside chance to play Thursday, which is good. Obviously, don't force it if you can't, but they're going to miss him if he doesn't play. Big fella, based on what Glenn said, I think Fields starts. I think he does too. But I think if Glenn really wanted to catch the Patriots off guard, I do think starting Tyrod could be a boost for what it's worth. Big fella goes, I love Kyle, but can never have enough pass rushers. I agree. It all depends on value, though. If someone blows me away for Will McDonald, I'll consider it. But I want to keep him. I think he's a good player that we saw the Jets get a double-digit lead, and then look what happened. Will McDonald broke out. Like, I think he's built to be part of winning games. He's a piece that helps you do that. You got to get the lead, but he's a closer. We saw that yesterday. Gabe is in our raffle for 5. For those tuning in late, we are going to give away a Jets jersey at the end of the show. Let's go win some games. I can't root for a tank. Would love to get our QB in this draft, but if we miss out on a quarterback this year, address big team needs, especially at wide receiver in 26, and give the 27 quarterback best chance to succeed. I'm all about getting the quarterback this year, Gabe, but yes, obviously, if the Jets happen to not believe in anyone, then sure, you could wait till 27, but I think that is a huge risk. Huge risk. I'm going to keep showing this all the time because I think people just like forget what we say about the quarterback class coming out every year. We do this every year. Dan Orlovsky, the day after the NFL draft ended this past year, so 2025, right? Check the date here for proof. April 24th, 2025. He lists all these quarterbacks saying how loaded 2026 is going to be. Look at some of these names here. The only one that is listed here that might be a top 10 pick, the only name here is Dante Moore. And ironically, he's a guy where there's rumblings. NFL people think he might stay in school for one more year. And Phil Knight and Nike might give him a lot more NIL to make that happen. Look at the list here. I don't see Fernando Mendoza's name on this list. I don't see him. Do you? I don't see Ty Simpson on this list. Do you? This is now Dan Orlovsky yesterday talking about these quarterbacks. You ready? Dan Orlovsky on October 20th said Mendoza and Simpson, or excuse me, let me rephrase. So on October 20th, Dan Orlovsky said Ty Simpson is clearly QB1. It's not even close. And then yesterday, shout out to NYJ Matt on Twitter for finding this. Yesterday, Orlovsky said Mendoza and Simpson are clearly the 2 best QBs in the country right now. So in the span of 2 weeks, Orlovsky is supposed to be a quarterback expert. Even he is flip-flopping on his perspective on these QBs. So that wait till 2027, people. Come on. Too big of a risk. Get your guy now. You have the draft picks to do it if you have to move up a little bit to make it happen. Get a guy you believe in. Like literally, on October 20th, Dan Orlovsky said it's not even close between Ty Simpson and everyone else for QB1. And then 2 weeks later, he says Mendoza and now Simpson are clearly the 2 best. He completely flip-flopped. Just like he's talking about how loaded the 2026 quarterback class is going to be. And there's one name on this list here of all these quarterbacks that's actually going to be projected right now to be a top 10 pick, and that's Dante Moore. Archer's not coming out. Aller got hurt and was not having a good year. Nussmeier got benched. Nico's not going to be a first-round guy. Cade, not a first-round guy. Levitt, Mateer, Beck, Nelson, none of these guys are first-round guys. And the guy who's going to win the Heisman and is the favorite right now to probably go number 1 overall is Fernando Mendoza from Indiana. He's not even listed here. So take that to the 2027 wait for a QB crowd because next year is so much better. Rude says Glenn is the only one that is seeing the potential in Fields. I think he's really trying as hard as he can to not be wrong about him. I truly think he could flip, but we have 5 years of film. Let me ask you this, Rude. What have you seen from Justin Fields outside of 2 games this year that tells you that he can consistently play at a high level? Like, because that's what the good quarterbacks in the league do. Forget the great ones. The good ones consistently give you a chance to win. That their best game is obviously as good as anyone's best game, but their worst game is not as bad as the bottom feeder quarterbacks are, right? That's what a good quarterback does. Justin Fields in half his starts this year, has passed for less than 60 yards. It is not sustainable when you have a 50% chance that your quarterback is unplayable in that particular game. Think about that. Dean says Glenn has no choice. Fields is his guy. He's going to fall on the sword. He was not going to fall on the sword, though, against the Bengals. He was going to start Tyrod. He was hurt. It was reported that he was leaning towards Tyrod and that Tyrod was going to start. But he had to start Fields because Tyrod was so banged up he didn't even make the trip to Cincinnati. Come on. Comments, questions, super chats. They will cut the line. Let's get to some calls, shall we? Load them up. Gus Buster Umbrella Hotline is the place to be. We got a heavy hitter on the line for this next segment.
Let's go, Jets! Let's go, Jets! Let's go, Jets! Let's go, Jets!
Good morning, America! The first 30 minutes when we play the Patriots, pulverize them the first 30 minutes, make them suffer and suffer some more, and then get them down on their knees, make them pay the price. First half, that's what we do first. Second half, you know what you got to do. Pulverize them again. We'll do it even harder. Discipline them, knock them out, and then when it gets down to the fourth quarter, the final few minutes, knock them out and go for the W. Finish the job and take them out. This is the time to punch them out. TKO. You want to win games, you got to do the job now. Now. N-O-W. You want to make it big here, pay your share and do your job. Is that clear? Do I make myself clear? Is that correct? Oh.
Salient points as always, Beast. Well said. Well said. More of your calls right now. Alex in DC is up next on today's show. What's up, Alex?
Morning. Still morning. I wanted to touch on the QB stuff. First off, I agree with you. It just makes no sense to wait till 2027. With that said, though, a concern of mine is, I don't know if you watch or any of the listeners watch McShay, but he's one of my favorite draft guys. According to him, it's a really, really good chance a lot of these guys come back next year.
That would only that. So if they come back, that's the only thing that where my opinion would be okay. I understand waiting, but if there's guys available and people are like, nah, just wait one more year because we'll get a better guy next year. No, that's too risky. If the guys are available for the Jets, you got to get one this year.
Yeah, no. I mean, so who do we have? So the consensus is what we got. We got Ty Simpson, Dante Moore, Lenoris Sellers, Mendoza. And if
I would say Sellers is not even in the first tier anymore, though, the season he's had. Not all his fault. His O-line's a mess. I think they've had more O-line changes than any Power 5 team in the country. But he might even stay in school, by the way. Exactly. I think it's 3 guys right now. At this point, maybe someone else comes out of nowhere. We've seen that many times. I think it's Mendoza, Moore, and Simpson in whatever order you want. I think those are the 3.
Okay. But here's and this is what McShay's saying. McShay's already saying that Moore is a lock to come back to school next year. And he's also hinting to it. And again, I respect McShay. He's one of my favorite as far as draft intel. And Ty Simpson also is a chance to come back. This is his first year starting. A lot of these schools want you to have 30 starts and stuff like that. This is his first year. So it'll be interesting. The point I'm trying to make is we may be looking at a situation where there's only 1 or 2 first-round options. I mean, obviously, there might be like a Jackson Dart situation where somebody goes 28 or something like that. But I just don't want to force a first-round pick. I would be totally fine taking somebody 2nd, 3rd, 4th round if there's not that bevy of first-round talent available. If there's 4 guys available and we're picking freaking 12 or whatever, take one of them. You know what I mean? But just don't force it. That's just the point I'm trying to make.
I agree. You don't force it, but I will find it hard to believe that the Jets, who've already started doing a lot of homework on these quarterbacks, won't be in position to get someone, even if it means via trade-up. I think the Jets made these deals in mind with Sauce and Quinn and knowing that they might need to use some of these picks to get a guy they truly believe in.
Yeah. And secondly, what's I just listened to this Glenn press conference. Somebody help me out here. This attitude with and I like Glenn, so I'm not getting on his case, but it's just weird to me. this attitude with the media and like this snippiness, like one of the guys asked a fair question about, hey, what's going into this process of why you're not, and he's like, the way they practice, like just being for lack of a better word, a dick. What is this about?
I don't know. I think if he wanted to play I'm not going to reveal a quarterback. And I even said this to Mike Tannenbaum, who obviously is very pro Glenn, helped recommend him and all that. And he said, these are fair points, like all fair. And this is what I said to him yesterday before even this latest, charade with the media. I said, if you want to play the competitive advantage game with your quarterback, there's a way to word it where you're not as combative. And I think we all would understand. Like if Glenn had said in this press conference I just played on the show, hey, we have a short week. I'm not going to name a quarterback. I want to give us every competitive advantage I think we will need to go into New England against a really great team and give us the best chance to win. If he just said that and didn't take the approach you just said, where you referenced in practice, like short and kind of just like, for lack of a better word, just dickish with the media, like I think fans would would rally around that. But I think there's a lot of people like you, Alex, who want Aaron Glenn to do a good job and be here, and you were rooting for him. It's just like it feels like an unnecessary battle that he is giving himself to fight every week when the battle should be who they're playing, and he doesn't need to spend so much time fighting with the media every week. I just don't think it's productive. I don't think it helps the Jets. And I think it will eventually come back to hurt him, because if they have some devastating losses coming up, they're going to come after him hard in these.
That was my next point. I'm like, dude, they're just licking their chops, waiting to like get on you. Like, whatever. I mean, whatever. He knows more than me, but okay. And then lastly, as far as like just tanking or whatever, like I'm kind of, typically we go through this every freaking year. So I'm 30. I'm 38 years old. So I've been praying for tank maybe 32 of the 38. But this year I'm kind of like, I picking first or picking eighth, it really doesn't make a difference to me. I think there's a lot of evaluation that needs to be done. And so it's not like we're about to win 7 straight. So if we were going to win 2 games and maybe now we end up winning 4 or 5, whatever, let's just see what we got in these players. Let's see what we got in these coaches, just as important, and see. And I gotta gloat a little bit. I know there's a lot of people that like Will McDonald. I wanted Jackson Smith and Jigba in that pick, and I think it's a no-brainer who the pick should have been. I just wanted to throw that in there. But yeah, that's it. Appreciate the time.
Great call, Alex. Appreciate you making it. Hope you call him more. Always a great call. Yeah, look, I mean, we got to think back to what the Jet thought process was for Douglas and company when they made that pick. They were anticipating with Rodgers to have a lot of leads in games going into 23 and then 24. So, like, you were going to add to a strength. And plus, there was thoughts of, is Bryce Huff going to be here long term? Right? So, and I think that was a pure BPA. I think where you could criticize the Jets for that, they apparently leaked to Connor Hughes, among other reporters, but I just remember Connor had this. They didn't have a first-round grade on JSN. Like, Joe Douglas's ability or inability to evaluate wide receivers is a big reason why it didn't work out for him beyond picking Zach Wilson and the quarterback issues. Right? Like, the Jets got Garrett Wilson right. Great. Anyone could get that right. Everyone knew Garrett Wilson was a top 10 worthy pick. He's been great. But look at all the other wide receiver picks they made. Elijah Moore, Denzel Mims, Malachi Corley. Right? Like, the Jets' inability under Douglas to get receivers was such a problem. So, Will McDonald's a good player. Obviously, if you could do it over, I think you would clearly take JSN, right? No one's disputing that. But they took McDonald because they had him as the best player available at a premium position. They were going to have leads over the next 2 years with Rodgers, try and close out games. Like, that was the thought process, which made sense. What I think is so alarming is they did not have a first-round grade on JSN coming out. I remember that story. I was like, what? And remember, this also came out when they made the move for Malachi Corley. Remember they leaked that he was like their 3rd receiver on their board or 4th receiver on their board? Like, they had Malachi Corley. They had him in front of Brian Thomas Jr. Think about that. So, like, Douglas's inability to evaluate receivers, it was bad, man. He obviously did some good in the draft. He did draft Garrett. That's his home run wide receiver pick. Took Sauce, traded up for Breeze, Jermaine, right? Like, there were some wins for Douglas with some of the top picks. But when it came to evaluating receiver talent, dreadful. And by the way, Arian Smith, I actually don't know if he's dreadful or not. Because we can't get him the ball. That's why I want to start Tyrod. At least Tyrod will throw the go ball. And by the way, speaking of Corley, seeing how he was used yesterday, he should just change his position to running back. Right? The Browns don't use him as a receiver. They use him as a running back. They gave him a couple end arounds and he ran hard and made a couple nice plays. Great. They need to go out there and they need to evaluate what they have on this roster from a pass catcher standpoint. Because so much of the success of next year's quarterback, if it's Mendoza, Simpson, whoever, do they have playmakers that can help them? I think Mason Taylor can play. But he barely got the ball yesterday because they can't throw. Garrett Wilson, we know, is a stud. He can't get the ball. I want to see Arian Smith get opportunities. He can't get the ball. He was open yesterday. They showed it, right? We all saw the game. They didn't get him the ball. You know, I think A.D. Mitchell can play or at least be a part of this team next year in some role. Is that wide receiver 2? Probably not. Can he be the third receiver on this team next year? He might be able to, but are we going to know if we can't, evaluate him over these now 8 games? Right? Like, that's why Tyrod needs to start Thursday. Justin Fields cannot throw. He can't. And there's a 50% chance Justin Fields will go out there and will have less than 60 yards passing on Thursday. That's what the numbers show you here. He started 8 games. Half of them, he's at under 60 passing yards. Brian says, what happened to Garrett in the slot? What happened to being able to get the ball to Garrett Wilson in general? Oh, we don't have a quarterback. And if you're not going to use Fields the way he needs to be used, then he's worse than Zach Wilson as a pure pocket passer. Like, if they're afraid to run Fields because of his concussion he has suffered, then he's useless. Sorry to be blunt, but he is useless if you're not going to use him the way he needs to be used to maximize what he does do well at an elite level, which is run the ball. Jordan in the house. Jordo has gifted 5. By the way, he is the first person an hour and a half into the show to gift the community a membership. So shout out to you, Jordo. You're the man.
And Jet fans are clueless. I mean, they're dopes. They don't know anything. This is a really good hire. Gase is a great coach. Okay, Adam Gase is Kyle Shanahan before Kyle Shanahan. Gase is a great coach.
Jordo in our raffle at the end of the show and the weekly raffle for 5. I'm gifting another membership to the community. Let's go.
JETS. Yes. All right, let's go.
Hell yeah. All right. Listener Ryan McCarthy just received a channel membership. Shout out to you, Ryan. Let's get to more of your calls. Load them up if you want in on the conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, this guy does not have J syndrome, which, if you are unaware what exactly J syndrome is a rare condition in which the lights get just a little too bright to offer actual Jets opinions on the air by calling into a Jet show. Unfortunately, Jay Reeves is the biggest culprit of J syndrome in the chat. But this guy doesn't have J syndrome. His name is Black Gypsy, and he's next. Hello, Mr. Gypsy.
What up, Jake? So you said it. Spencer Green, Jay Reeves. You are soft. You have so much to say in the chat. You're telling us that we're all stupid for having opinions on what we've seen over these games played so far. Call in and back up your points. Don't be in the chat telling me that I'm stupid and that you know more than me. I can football knowledge you to death, bro. I might be stupid, but I know football. All right. So if you want to come on and debate me, come on and debate me. I'll be in the StreamYard link to the end of the show. If you're gonna tell me that you know more than me, come talk to me. Come talk to me, dog. I want to hear what you have to say. Explain your points to me. Now, for AG the evaluator that can evaluate a QB to start from week to week, we've seen the QB is not good, but we're stupid. Like, we don't know anything. Like, 54 yards, 4 passes in a game is the worst performance of any quarterback. Dylan Gabriel yesterday looked like God compared to Fields. That's bad, bro. Jerry Jeudy caught the ball. Jerry Jeudy has the worst hands ever. He drops half his passes. You can at least evaluate something with Gabriel and Jeudy. We can't evaluate anything with Fields. Like, what's the point of starting Fields now? And Fields he's bad, bro. He is a backup QB, gadget QB that we keep on the team to run gadget plays if we're gonna keep him. Like, we need to see what Tyrod could do, or Cook could do. Like, him doubling down on Fields is making us hate him. Like, you're not making you're not making the team better. There's no positives to it. Yesterday, we got lucky, and everyone wants to tell me it's a win and we should be happy. Yes, I am happy that we won. Happy whenever we win games. But how you win games and context matters. We looked like hot shit yesterday. Defense was bad. Offense was bad. One screen pass changed the whole game. Like, we have the right to say that. Stop telling us we're stupid for saying things that we see on the field, bro. Like, I'm not blind. Like, if I see it, I'm going to say something about it. In their opinion, I should only say something when it's the positive. No negatives. Only the positives. Like, what were the positives from yesterday, bro? Like, we had 2 returns for touchdowns. That was the positives. Everything else, the team sucked. Like, what am I missing? Like, and call in. Don't be in the chat. Just call in, bro. Just tell me what you have to say. Because I have something to say. I can back up my defensive points, my scheme points, everything. Like, yesterday's game had one section in the game where the offense was called correctly. AG sucks, Wilkes sucks, and Tanner sucks. Because if you can call that in the end of the third quarter to run option football, which led to the pass for Brees getting that touchdown, that's how we have to play with Fields. If you're not going to play that way with Fields, take him out of the game. We have the right to say that because we saw it work for 2 minutes in one quarter of a game. Like, I don't understand why people don't. There's nuance and context to every statement. We can say somebody sucks and they can win a game. You still suck. Like this is the mangold miracle for everything that's going on right now. Like last week's game,
they only win against teams from Ohio as well.
Or that, because both those teams suck.
Yeah, I will say though, I will push back slightly. Like the defense playing well, I think is a good sign. McDonald having a big game is nice. Quincy playing with his hair on fire is nice to see. Jermaine having a nice game. Like there are some things I think we could point to and be excited about. Like the offensive line playing well against that defensive front is great. Myles Garrett did not wreck the game. Olu and Membu, I thought both played really, really well. Tippin, I thought, was outstanding. Had a great block on the Brees touchdown. Like there's some things that we could be excited about. But I agree with you on Fields. Justin Fields is unplayable, and I would start Tyrod Taylor on Thursday without any hesitation.
Now imagine this, Jay, what you just said. The defense did all that yesterday, right? And we barely beat a shitty team by 7 points. When the only thing that we did was punt returns. So imagine we had a good quarterback there. Like the defense gave up 20 points against a team that doesn't average more than 15 or 16 points a game. Like our defense is not good. I know everyone, the players on the defense are actually not bad. They're athletic, so they can get to plays. But in our zones and our man, we're off. We're late. Like we react, we bite. There's no discipline in this defense. This defense is tough and they play hard, but there's no discipline. There's no scheme that you can look to and say this team is trying to run this scheme and they're doing it effectively. Plus, we're not. Like we're not. The offense, the same thing. We have no identity. Like if the identity of that team with Fields starting is an option football team. If you're not going to run the option and you don't know how to run the option, pull that quarterback and go run whatever offense you want with Tyrod or Cook, because you can't do it with Fields.
Well, at least if you're evaluating these receivers, you could run an NFL offense with Tyrod. He's not maybe great, but he'll at least throw downfield if guys open. He'll give guys a chance to make a play so we can evaluate what they are.
Exactly. He's a million times better. And you sticking with a quarterback that sucks and we saying that he sucks, and then your people in the chat telling us that a win's a win. Yeah, a win's a win, but how you win is very important. Because, like, how can we beat New England with playing and getting 54 yards on offense on Thursday? That's not going to work. Like, and us saying that is just factual. Like, don't be mad at us. Call in. Back up your points. Tell me why you think we should trust AG. Tell me why I should have this blind trust in the OC and the DC. From what I've seen, they have not been good. Like they've gotten better on defense slightly because he's trying to change up the man and the zones, and we still play too much man and get beat on man all the time. We got beat on the same touchdown in the end zone since the beginning of the season, and Wilkes has still not made a change to play end zone defense and understand that the play action to the right-hand side is beating us like 6 games in a row where a tight end scores a touchdown. Still, we don't do that. Like, these are things that we can point out. Don't be mad that we're pointing it out. Like, you can be on board and say, hey, look, the team stinks, but we won a game. Thank God we won a game, which is where I'm at. Thank God we won a game. Don't tell us that we're stupid when we see bad shit happening. Like, it's the worst, man. I hate some of our fans. Like, some of the nonsense that we say is just, Allen is a coward, and Allen will still call in and say what he has to say. I respect Allen for calling in and saying the dumb shit that he has to say. I have no respect for Jay Reeves. I have no respect for Spencer Green. Keep on telling me you're going to call in, you're busy. Like, yo, bro, you chat, you're in the chat every 6 seconds typing. You can call in. I don't want to hear the excuses. Call in or shut up.
Jay syndrome, man. Spencer Green's got a very rare case of Jay syndrome, Black Gypsy.
It's soft. It's soft. It's the most cowardly thing ever. And then you try to act like you're smarter than us. Like, yo, bro, come prove your points. Come tell me why you're smarter than me.
Well, you won over Jack. He says, I'm starting a campaign for a Black Gypsy intro.
Like, I'm over the nonsense that they say. I hope he beat New England, but I just don't see us beating New England. And I'm not being negative for saying that. From what I saw on Sunday, I don't think that team can beat New England on Thursday. That's just my opinion. Do I hope we win a game? Yes. From what I saw, I'm just going by facts. Just facts, bro. Not feelings, not dreaming and wishing, just what we see on the field. And what we see on the field is our coaching staff is not good.
Jay Reeves says, get a life, bro.
I have a life. You're still in the chat talking, so you're the same as me. You're not different than me. I just called in because I'm not a coward to say what I have to say.
Nate says Spencer Green will never call on. He's busy through his next 2 future jobs.
Yeah, he's Allen. He works for the NFL. I mean,
it's a good call.
Either case, man. Jets. Yeah, I will be in the chat the whole time. So if he calls in, I will be here just to prove a point.
I love it. Black Gypsy, appreciate your time. I don't know why anyone would be upset with what Black Gypsy just said. He's a Jet fan who obviously wants to see the team win. But I don't sit here and say, oh, he's not a real fan because he thinks the Jets are going to get killed on Thursday or not cover 10.5. Like, I think there's some fans out there who think if you're not like 100% blindly positive for your team, it makes you less of a fan than someone who keeps it honest and is real. And I think most people prefer that type of fan, like the honest and real. I think that's why my following is what it is on YouTube here and on Spotify and Apple. Like, we're not going to blindly defend a team that hasn't made the playoffs since 2010. We're also going to root for them to do well and give them credit when they deserve it. Like, that's, to me, being an honest fan. JJ says, Jake, I told you A-Rod's struggling this year. LOL, fun, irrelevant stat. Jets with A-Rod, 19 points per game, with Fields, 22 points per game. Don't go on a rant. This is a funny stat. Yeah, it tells me it's a worthless stat. Because look at the Jets' production in garbage time that inflates those numbers. Right? Like, it's a completely worthless stat. It means nothing. And I don't think Rodgers is necessarily struggling this year. I think he's playing how he was with the Jets. Some good games, some bad. The Steelers' defense has not been anywhere near as good as what we thought it would be. But they're still 5-4 right there in the mix for the playoffs. He's 41 years old, and he's way better than Justin Fields. I don't think it would, but I've said it over and over, JJ. I don't think Aaron Rodgers on the Jets this year would have worked. I think Glenn and him would not have worked. There would have been major issues. They would be losing because Glenn would still be learning on the job. There'd still be major coaching blunders that cost them wins, but the attention would all be on Rodgers, and I think that'd be completely unfair. So that's how I look at it. But the points per game stat, I mean, it's just silly. Look at what we're talking about here. Like, you can't even compare it. Ladies and gentlemen, Black Gypsy called back in. Yes, Black Gypsy?
I don't know. I'm waiting. So whenever they come on, I'm here for them.
Come on. You think they're going to call back?
I know they're not. I just want to prove a point.
They don't call in general.
Yeah, it's just talking in the chat and then telling us that we're soft. It blows my mind, bro. It blows my mind. Whatever.
Black Gypsy, you stay right there. If Jay gets over his Jay syndrome, which is a rare condition in which the lights get just a little too bright to offer actual Jets opinions by calling into a Jet show, be happy to put them on. All right, open phone lines for anyone else who wants to call in. Comments, questions, super chats. They'll cut the line. Also, one thing about the Steelers, too, watching them last night, how do they not get a legitimate wide receiver at the deadline here? I mean, the second pick Rodgers threw last night, right off the dude's hands. I think they dropped the ball. Honestly, even Lazard would be helpful for them. Because at least we know Lazard could be, like, somewhat playable at times if Rodgers is throwing him. And good job by the Jets making Lazard inactive yesterday. You shouldn't see the field again. But come on. Ladies and gentlemen, Indy Jets joins us now. Hello, Indy.
Hey. Hey, good morning, Jake.
Hello,
hey,
Indy.
bring Black Gypsy on.
Is this
he
a
waiting?
rumble?
Oh no. I love Black Gypsy. So it's not necessarily a rumble, but I love the guy.
Not necessarily a rumble. Well, the rumble will be on a standby.
Indeed.
Is he coming? Oh, there he is. Black Gypsy. What's going on, my dog?
What's going on, Indy?
You know, I understand you're disgruntled for Fields. I get it. He's not a good quarterback. But did he lose the game?
I mean,
did anything he did lose the game for us?
No.
Okay. So in that instance, he didn't lose the game. And in the 7 losses that we had before, he was not the majority blame for the losses either, was he?
No.
Okay. So why would you, if he's not the blame, he was part of the blame. I'm not going to say he was not part of it, but he was not the majority of the blame. And he was not the reason we didn't lose the last 2 weeks, the last 2 games. So Aaron Glenn has turned this team around minus the quarterback. That's literally the only player he hasn't fixed yet.
How has he turned the team around?
Well, we've from 0-7, we've won the back-to-back games, correct? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Penalties way down compared to what they were, correct?
Yep. Yes.
Okay. The defense is playing far better. They're actually playing to the expectations that we had at the beginning of the season. Finally.
Okay.
Correct.
No. So I'm gonna give you some stats. Defense is 5th against the run and last against the pass in the NFL. Dead last. Worst defense against the pass in the NFL. So no.
Over the last 2. No, I'm saying over the last 2 games.
Over the season.
Right, because they were so bad at the beginning of the year.
They're still dead last. 2 games. If you did great in 2 games, we shut a team out. We barely won against a team that scored 15 points. Gabriel scored 3. You don't understand how insane that is. That the worst quarterback in the league, the worst team, is able to score against our defense. And it didn't look hard yesterday. Like, our defense got sacks, and they still were able to score 20 points against our defense. It's one of the worst offenses in the NFL. It's a bad defense. They're a bad defense.
They're not a great defense, but are they better the last 2 or 3 weeks? Are they better now than what they were previously 7 games?
They're better. The last 2 games they have been, but it's been against 2 horrible teams. So I can't really tell you that the defense is better because you played 2 really bad teams.
I mean, the Jamar Chase, with having Chase and T. Higgins, they played pretty well against them, correct? The team is improving. Yeah. The team is improving, which is
the team is meh. You know what improvement?
They weren't. Yes, I am agreeing with you. The team is meh now because they were not that 7 games ago. The team was horrible before. We went from horrible to eh. So I'm not sitting there saying we're a great team, but this team has shown improvement. The coaching staff, these players will run. Will do just like they did with Rex Ryan. They will run through a brick wall for him.
I don't. Everyone seems to conflate 2 issues. What I'm saying. I'm not saying our players aren't good or our players aren't trying. I'm saying our coaching staff is inept. And I'll give you good reasons to why our coaching staff is inept. How many touchdowns has been scored in the end zone on us on a tight end play action?
Okay. Probably none. Probably 0. I'm going to guess 0.
Look, we have not stopped 1 tight end play action in our end zone to score a touchdown since the season has started. I want you to go back and look through the games. When they roll out to the right in the end zone, the other teams, their tight ends are open. Yesterday, Brownlee bit on the inside. That's why Njoku scored that touchdown. That's why he was late to that pass. All right? No adjustments on the defense. If that's happened to you 6 weeks in a row, when you get to the end zone as a defensive coordinator, you change your defense up. You run a 4-6. You run a different defense, period.
We don't have the players for that yet. You can't sit there and say we're going to just change the defense because we don't have the players for that.
That is bullshit. That is bullshit. We have the players. Scheme. Solid did it last year. So I did it the year before. We have the players, and supposedly now we have better players because Saleh didn't know what he was doing. So we have the players. Do the right scheme. Have your guys understand your defense that you're running, and they'll be in position to stop the plays. The reason why we are not there is because Sherwood doesn't know what he's doing, doesn't understand the defense. Brownlee is the best player that we have on that defense right now, doing way more work than he should, and he still doesn't understand the defense. Now, on offense, Tanner Angstrand has now called the game for Justin Fields minus the first game. The first game was the only semblance of a game that where Fields can play in where he's comfortable. And he's still not good when he's comfortable because he reads the options wrong.
When you take a bad quarterback and have an offensive coordinator that's not having, unless he's an experienced a guy that's been calling plays under Andy Reid for 20 years, it's a bad combination. The quarterback is the problem, but we don't have a better option.
No. In the third quarter yesterday, I want people to watch the game because I watched the games over. In the third quarter, Fields ran 4 option plays. They ran an option offense and were able to score against a defense that is really tough to score against. So that means that at some point during the game, he was like, yo, let's run these option plays. So that means he didn't do that to him from the beginning of the game. A good OC knows that Fields cannot pass the ball and go back by himself in the end. Like, come on, man. What are we talking about? When it's bad, it's bad.
I'm telling you, Fields may not be the guy, but he's still
Hold on.
We know that.
I got to
the
jump
answer
in
we
for a
got.
second.
But he's still better than Tyrod.
Indy. Fields may not be the guy. He is not the guy.
No, I'm saying we got our answer. We got our answer. I'm agreeing with it. We got our answer that he's not the long-term guy. But right now, he's the only quarterback we've got. Tyrod is not very good. And Brady Cook is not very good either.
Yeah, but
Cook is not very good.
Cannot be worse than Fields. Cook cannot be worse than Fields.
Tyrod's better than Fields. He can throw the ball. He gives you a higher floor. That's what they need. And half the games
he can throw the ball to the other team. Absolutely.
Okay, he might throw more interceptions, but at least he goes and throws downfield and gives you a chance. Fields did not throw more passes beyond the line of scrimmage yesterday. He had 2 completions in front of the line of scrimmage. What are you talking about?
Yeah, the point is if he throws 2 or 3 interceptions a game and loses the game because we the turnovers, then well, Fields doesn't do that. He didn't lose the game.
He doesn't throw that many interceptions anyway. With the Jets, he certainly has since he's come in and played in the Tampa game and the second half of the Carolina game. But that's typically an outlier for Tyrod if you look at his box scores and numbers over the years. Fields is unplayable, Indy. Stop defending this quarterback who's terrible. And the coach
I'm not defending him. I'm saying he's still the best option we have, even as bad as it is.
You just said yesterday, he didn't lose us the game. Dude,
I said just now, he didn't lose the game. Did we win?
Basically, they won.
Did we win? That's the answer. We won the game. So Fields didn't lose the game. End of story. He didn't throw a pick six for the loss.
Did the Jets not get 2 touchdowns from their special teams? They had 3 points in the first half. He had -5 net passing. If the game wasn't
still didn't lose the game.
Okay, great. But that doesn't mean that they're improving. Like you're talking about all these great things because they won 2 games against bad football teams. Play well against the Patriots. Win that game.
Miami was a really bad. Miami was a really bad team that we didn't win. So we went from at least we beating the bad teams. We didn't beat Miami.
Right. I mean, yes, they're showing improvement that they're not the worst team in the NFL.
Yes, they're okay. There we go. We're showing improvement. Finally, we're on to something common now. We're showing improvement.
But you're celebrating Aaron Glenn and the Jets like they've turned the corner. They're 2-7, dude. Wake up.
2 games in a row. I don't care who it's against. It's still 2 games.
You should. There's context to it.
Indy, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question, Indy. Does context matter? Does how you win matter, or does winning matter?
At the end of the year, context only matters to a point because you just take your wins and losses. Context matters, then nobody should have been fighting for Aaron Rodgers because they only won 5 games. But context matters, right? Or it doesn't.
It's Aaron Rodgers. Exactly. So I'm gonna go with what you just said. With Aaron Rodgers, one of the greatest quarterbacks ever, context matters, right? We got rid of him.
Because he only won 5 games.
And picked up Fields, right? And now we have Fields, and Fields is one of the worst quarterbacks we've ever seen. Jamarcus level bad. And you're trying to tell me that Fields is, come on, man. He's not the option. He's not the guy,
Fields
bro.
Is what? What did I say? I'm trying to say Fields is what?
You said he didn't lose us the game. Like I'll give you a great example. Look, so yesterday on that play action pass, now as an OC, right? knowing what Fields does, are you going to throw a ball on a play action over the middle, or are you going to go right or left side down the field? So if he gets intercepted on a play action, is it farther down the field or is it right in the middle of the field? You have Arian Smith. You can run goals with the fastest guy on your team. But yesterday you chose to hone in on Garrett and throw the ball in the middle of the field where he's covered and get an interception.
And when you watch the film, you'll see that Arian wasn't open. Arian hasn't been able to get separation all year. That's that's why he's not getting balls. If you watch the film,
explain this. 4 times in 8 starts, Justin Fields has failed to net 50 passing yards in a game. Come on, dude. Stop defending this.
Look, I love
they got lucky they won because they got a great performance, a historic performance from the special teams unit. And their defense had 6 sacks. They still didn't force a turnover. They still don't have an interception all year. We could also be excited they won, say that, yes, there is some gradual improvement, and also acknowledge that, yeah, great, they're not the worst team in the NFL. They never should have been. There was talent on this team. You had the Jets winning how many games, Indy? 7 games, I think you said? They're not.
I said 10. No, I actually said 10. I was at 10 wins.
Yeah. So what are we talking about? They're not going to go 10 wins.
Is there still a chance? Yes, but
have I changed my outlook? Have I changed my outlook on Fields since the season started?
It's probably gotten a little worse. It's probably gotten a little worse. Gypsy, it's probably gotten a little worse.
He's proved to me that he's not the guy. I love the guy as a player.
Same here. We're on the same page with this, except for we don't have a better option right now because Tyrod's not better. Tyrod's not better an option, and Brady Cook. We're not at practice with the guys, and if Brady Cook was even a resemblance of a starting quarterback, he would at least be off the practice squad. That's why he's not. And we watched him in preseason; he was terrible.
Indy, Fields threw a comeback route yesterday, a slant to Mason, and then a screen to Brees. Those were his plays of the game.
Yeah, I get it. Game. We agree. We agree in BG. I'm telling you.
Tyrod is not a better option, Indy, with all due respect.
That's crazy.
Come on. Enough. But we're not done. We're not done because, ladies and gentlemen, we have someone on the line that we must first and foremost warn you all about.
Warning! Warning! Allen alert! Shit's about to get ugly, folks. Warning! Allen alert! Hide the children.
I'm not even arguing with you, Black Gypsy, on this one. Honestly, the idea that anybody is defending Justin Fields after what I've seen this year is just laughable, okay? He sucks. He sucks. It's over.
I hate to agree with Allen. It burns my soul to agree with Allen, but Allen's right.
You can find guys off the street who are better than him, okay? It's over. If he played like that yesterday on Thursday, they're losing 42-10 against the Patriots. 42-10. If he plays like that. He can't. They beat a garbage Dylan Gabriel. And the week before, 2 weeks before, they beat a junior high school defense in the Bengals. Okay?
Allen, is Brady Cook better than Fields?
They play good teams.
Yes. Yes.
And so give me something. Give me something that says Brady Cook is better. What has he done that's better?
Even know what
there is no
nothing. Yeah, you don't even know.
Look, I'll give you something better. There's no tape on Brady Cook. There's no tape on Brady Cook. So
can Brady Cook run the ball? No.
How many running yards did Fields have yesterday?
He had 27 yards, 7 carries, or something like that.
Here's a better question. Can Gabriel run the ball? How many yards did Gabriel have against us yesterday?
I didn't look up Gabriel's stats. I just know.
You know why?
I don't follow the other team stats.
Because there was no pass there, so he ran. Even though he's not a great runner, he ran the ball. Fields, who is a great runner, does not want to run the ball and cannot pass the ball. He cannot play. I know.
Still waiting on what has Brady Cook shown you that's better than Fields?
He hasn't
answer that question first.
He hasn't shown me anything.
So zero. He has nothing.
Okay. And what has Fields showed you to make him start next week or this Thursday?
Well, he's 2-0 right now, right?
It's Fields the reason why we won that.
If you don't laugh at the 2-0 line, I can't. That was amazing. He's 2-0 right now. Explain half his starts. This under 60 yards passing. God. He's 2-0 right now. Oh, I can't. I love you, Andy. Amazing. Also, Alan, what you're such a weirdo. An A&M hat and an Iowa sweatshirt. Go throw in another college, right? Don't you? What do you have? A University of Texas underwear on? What is wrong with you?
No. I'm rooting for A&M now that Iowa's out, but I'm not an A&M fan. Okay, thank you. By
the way, I looked up Fields' contract after they'd be hit with multiple void years of dead cap charges, even if they post
$3
1
million afterwards. But I'm talking about you would save $10 million.
But there's still a hit on top of then needing to get another veteran quarterback and drafting someone. It's not ideal. They might not have a choice. It's a bad contract. He should have got a Daniel Jones contract, 1 year, $15 million.
Okay, I have a question, and you've watched him. Would you rather have Davis Mills or Justin Fields?
Oh, it kills me to say it because I think Davis Mills is terrible, but he played well yesterday. I'd rather Davis Mills.
Okay, so let's say Davis Mills is a free agent, which he is.
No, they signed him.
$5 million?
I don't think he's a free agent.
He is a free agent. He got a 1 year deal at $7 million. Yes.
I thought they extended him before the season started.
I think they only gave him a 1 year deal. I think it was a 1 year, $7 million deal.
No, he signed through 2026. I just looked it up.
Is there? You think they'll trade him for like a 6th round? I'd rather trade a 6th round pick for Davis Mills than watch Justin Fields anymore. I can't watch him.
He can't be the quarterback next year. He can't.
I love it. I love Indy. I would take the $10 million hit, post 6-1, and put anybody else out there.
They're going to. My point to you was it's not a great contract. Like Daniel Jones signed for $14 million. That should have been what Fields signed for instead of $30 million guaranteed and $40 million overall.
If they were going to give him 2 years, you got to get out after the first year. You could not give a guy $30 million guaranteed. And when people said, "Oh, the Steelers were going to give him that contract," the Steelers were never going to give him that contract.
Not at that money. They maybe were going to brought him back at $10 million, not 30 guaranteed.
But I love delusional Jet fans. Okay, talk to me after the Baltimore game when they're playing 2 real teams the next 2 weeks. Okay, there's no garbage defense in Cincinnati, and there's no high school quarterback in Dylan Gabriel. They're playing the Patriots. They're 10.5-point dogs. They're playing Baltimore. I think the early line for that game is 11.5. You know what? Be competitive in that game. If you want to talk about improving the Jets or this team actually playing for the coach, by the 3rd quarter, don't be down 3 touchdowns in either game, okay? Please. And one final thing about Aaron Glenn, okay? You've won 2 games in a row. Why continue to be a dick when it comes to the quarterback? Just say it. I mean, he's just digging himself into such a hole that when this team continues to stink in the next year and a half, he's going to look like an absolute buffoon. Just say who's starting right now. Who cares? You have all the momentum. You've won 2 games in a row. Just stop. Why is he doing this? I don't understand. It makes no sense.
I think he's picking a battle with the media he doesn't need to fight.
He's not going to win it. He's not going to win it.
He's not a good enough coach to win it at this point. We've seen nothing. These 2 wins don't prove anything that he's all of a sudden this great coach. It's better than losing. I disagree with you. I think there's improvement that we are seeing, but it's not enough for me to basically feel like, great, we have our coach, that we just need the quarterback. But they better show up Thursday. If they get blown out Thursday, everything you've done the last 2 weeks, it doesn't mean anything when you do it against the worst defense in football and a Browns team that's terrible that out-jetted the Jets with the way they handled that game yesterday.
And finally, if I were the Jets, I would start Brady Cook against the Falcons in 2 weeks. I would.
I don't mind that.
Yeah, you don't have to play him on these 2 road games. You're playing 2 really good teams. You got the Falcons in your building. The place will be half empty. Why not play him? Who cares? And you can't watch Fields anymore. And people, like, I love JJ. His call yesterday was the funniest shit I've ever heard in my life, defending him and blaming the OC on Fields. Fields is not a NFL quarterback. He's just not. He's not. The problem is the Jets were dumb enough to give him $30 million guaranteed. No one else would have done it. Okay? If any other team would have given him a 1 year deal and they would have benched him or they would have cut him already. Unfortunately, the Jets can't do it because they have $23 million on the hook next year. That's the problem. So again, start Brady Cook in 2 weeks when you're 2-9 and go
Or
from
if
there.
Brady Cook is actually unplayable because we're not at practice, then Tyrod needs to start the rest of the year so you could evaluate your offense. I need to know, do we have anything in Arian Smith going into next year? Do we have anything in A.D. Mitchell or John Mechie? Like, you can't run an NFL offense if your quarterback has negative yards passing at halftime. Like, it just, you're not going to, they won yesterday in spite of their quarterback because they had 2 special teams touchdowns and the defense had 6 sacks. And Brees made a great individual play. You take out the screenplay, Justin Fields had 12 yards passing in a game they won.
If you're down 24-3 at the half on Thursday and Fields isn't taken out, then you know there's a major problem in the building. You know.
Now, if they're down, if they get killed Thursday, which I'm expecting, you think they're going to, right?
I do. I think they're going to lose. Yeah.
Okay. Big. So if they get killed at halftime, are you doing this to yourself?
All the time. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it.
My
and
pleasure.
Again, do not trade 2027 first round picks. Thanks a lot.
Alert, alert, Allen alert. Can't you see Jet fans are dumbass jerks? Alert, alert, Allen alert. Delusional dreams from pathetic fans. My Big Joe is a dog. Beast Breaker is fat and dumb as a rock. And Peter's a dick who blocked all my chats. We should have got all Josh Allen to start. This show needs me. Jake knows I'm right and he's always wrong. Alert, alert, Allen alert. Can't you see Jet fans are dumbass jerks? Alert, alert, Allen alert.
Here's where I completely disagree with Allen at the end there. If the Jets are in position where they had to trade one of their first to get a quarterback in 26, you do it. That's why you make these deals. Because if you love a guy, it doesn't matter what you give up if you hit on the guy. Just be right. And they have an offensive line and number 1 receiver in place. They don't need as much as you would think for this young quarterback to come in and have a shot to not be screwed. They keep Brees, you got a running back. They keep the O-line together, you got an O-line, including 2 bookend tackles. You have a number 1 receiver. You can find the number 2 and number 3 receiver this offseason via free agency in the draft. You have a tight end. You can add another tight end. I think they should. We're seeing teams run a lot of 12 personnel. Get another legit tight end next to Mason Taylor. Rucker could be tight end 3 on a 1-year deal. You bring him back for $2 million. If I got to trade one of my 3 ones next year, I'll do it. I don't even know if it will take that. Let's say the Jets are at 3. They need to get the 1. I got to take as much as you think. I started looking into more, trades over the years for teams moving up. And when Allen was talking about trading the 3 ones to move up from 5 to 1 during his call last night, that's never happened. It's asinine. It's not like Andrew Luck is coming out this year. There's varying opinions on these quarterbacks. So I disagree with that, but we will debate that ad nauseum the entire offseason. So I don't need to do it right now. Let me get to more of your calls here. Appreciate everyone who's tuned in. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. D's Nuts wants in the raffle. He is in the raffle for one. Paulie wants in the raffle by gifting a membership. He is in the raffle now, too. We got a jersey giveaway coming up at the end. Brian says we win Thursday and go on a run. I hope they win Thursday. I doubt it. But once again, unlike Allen, I'm a Jet fan, so I hope I'm wrong. But I don't think they're going to win Thursday. Let's get to more calls, shall we? Roy is next on the program. Hello, Roy.
Yo, what's up, Jake? How you
Roy,
doing, man?
what's
I'm a
going
big
on?
fan.
First time caller?
First time, yes, sir.
You're the guy that's always trolling on X.
No, I'm not trolling you. I don't like how you abuse Aaron Glenn after 9 games. I don't
What do you mean
get that.
abuse him?
Like, you clown him. You have all these videos about him. I just don't get it.
Man, are you new to the show? I have a guy named Gator that makes funny videos. We make fun of everyone. That's how we deal with misery.
I listen to your show. I'm on and off. I'm a big fan of you. I think you do a good job on the Jets.
So if you think I do a good job, why do you think I'm abusing? You just say abusing the coach? Are they not 2-7?
No, like I'm saying, you're so down on him. After
has he
9
done a
games.
good job? I mean, like, has he done a good job? If you've watched the show for years, like you just said you did, you know I'm a diehard Jet fan who loves this team. Do you think I say things just to say it? Or if you watch the show, am I not normally typically positive? Am I not the guy that the last couple of years had this team winning 12 games?
Yes, that was with Rodgers and Salah. Now the Jets hired Aaron Glenn. Give him some time. Like, I feel like you already want to move off of him. Like, oh, one and done.
That's
Let's
not what
give
I
him
said. He's not going anywhere. I say every time he's not going anywhere. So I hope he gets better because he's not going anywhere. How many times have I said that?
Do you think he got better in the last few games?
I think there's been some improvement the last 2 games, but I think there's context to it. Look at the opponents.
Yeah, I know, but look how many personal fouls has been in the last 3-4 games. Not anymore, right?
Okay,
He took that away.
Yes, the penalties has definitely improved for sure, but that doesn't mean that he's a good head coach at this point.
No, but with Salah, they were going on for 3 years. That kept on going on. The penalties.
It was a huge problem. It was also a huge problem at the beginning of the season and cost them win. It cost them a win on Monday night when they had 13 penalties, 9 on offense, second most ever in franchise history against the Dolphins. That cost them a win against a terrible Dolphins team.
Yes, but it takes time. The Jets have been bad for the last 15 years. Give him time. He's going to clean everything up. That's my opinion. I think we have to give him time.
Right, and my opinion is that he has been bad so far, but I'm rooting for him to improve. But I can't sit here and do a talk show about the Jets every day and blindly say, I think it's going to get better if I don't believe it. I got to see proof.
No, but I feel like you never give him the credit when he deserves it. Like
I've given him a ton of credit the last 2 games. We've talked about how he had the team ready to play. It was impressive that after
you saying, "Oh my God, they played bad teams. They played terrible teams."
It's part of the conversation, Roy. If they
I know,
beat
but
if they beat the Patriots, then that will stun me, and I'll say, "Wow, maybe they are really improving and turning the corner."
Okay,
It'd
was
be
he
undisputable at that point? If they went on
was
Thursday night.
was he competitive with versus Tampa?
I was at that game. They were not in most of that game. That was a fluke, fake comeback.
Okay, how about versus Pittsburgh? They should have won that game.
They did, and they didn't. And I was frustrated. And why didn't they win? Because they kept Xavier Gibson on this team when he had no business being on the roster. That's his decision.
I know he made mistakes. Jake, everybody makes mistakes.
I have to talk about the mistakes, just like I talk about the mistakes that Salah and Ulbrich made and Douglas made.
But
I'm a Jet fan who's going to be honest, Roy. I can't tell you that it's not raining if it is raining outside.
Yes, I know.
We got to call it how it is. Do you think Aaron Glenn has done a good job this year overall?
No.
So
but
what's your issue with me saying that?
But because I know it's going to take time. I don't think he's going to be a great coach from the get-go. Bill Parcells wasn't great.
Should it have been this bad? Should it have been this bad? How many wins did you have the Jets winning this year, Roy?
5.5. Still, Vegas has them 5.5.
They were at 6.5 on FanDuel before the year closed.
Okay, 6.5. They're probably on pace to get 5, right or wrong?
Let's say I don't know what they're on pace for. They won a game against the Browns, which was probably expected, and the surprise was Cincinnati. Is there going to be another surprise win that they have this year? Maybe. So they probably will finish with 4, maybe 5 wins. Are we celebrating that?
He's doing this without a quarterback. That's how bad Fields is. Yes, I know he's signed
the quarterback. And then he said, we are going to coach him up. He's never been coached properly. Do you not remember this, Roy?
I get it, Jake. Okay.
So why can't I bring that up? You just said you
could bring that up. Job. But he took a chance on a 1-year deal. He could get out of it after 1 year. Minnesota got rid of Donald. That's one of the best coaches in football.
This is a Jets show. I don't care about the Vikings relative to what we're discussing with the Jets. Kevin O'Connell should be criticized for that if JJ McCarthy doesn't work out.
I know, but this is a stopgap for Fields. He took a chance on Fields. If it didn't work out, granted, he's going to go draft a quarterback.
Do you think it was smart for them to basically come out and say, hey, Fields hasn't been coached properly. We're going to coach him up. We're going to build a team around his strengths, and they've done the opposite of that?
It didn't work out. I agree. I didn't mind. Listen, in the beginning, I wanted Rodgers back. But then once they got rid of him, I didn't mind it. I didn't mind taking a chance on Fields. Obviously, it didn't work out. Fields stinks. He's horrible. I wish we never signed him. But he took a chance at it. I don't think it's a big deal, as people make it out to be.
I think it is a big deal, Roy. Because
where else would the Jets gone?
I think this is a very big deal because if you look ahead now to the offseason, they're going to have to make a decision on which quarterback they're going to take. And how do we trust Aaron Glenn's evaluation on who the right quarterback is if he was this wrong about Justin Fields?
Because they made a lot of good choices besides that quarterback. They made
it's a big deal, though. Joe Douglas made a lot of good choices, too, besides Zach Wilson.
I know, but this wasn't his future quarterback. This is
it's all part of the evaluation, Roy. So if there's improvement in the second half, I think we all would feel better about this regime going forward. I've been lauding Muji and Glenn's trades in season. Glenn gets credit for that, just like Muji does, because Glenn and him work as a tandem.
Did you want Rodgers back? Yeah, right.
If you said you watched the show, you know where my stance was on that.
Okay, you think the Jets would have been a lot better with Rodgers?
No, because I think Aaron Glenn's terrible so far. That's why I don't think it would have worked with him.
He's better than Salah. I'll tell you that much. He's going to be way better than Salah.
Aaron Glenn's better than Salah based on what?
Salah's
not a good coach. He's not a good head coach.
He holds these guys accountable. All of them. Every one of these plays, he holds them accountable.
Michael Salah is still on this team. Who's he holding accountable?
Who's on the team?
Was Justin Fields benched in the London game if he's holding guys accountable?
No, he was going to bench Justin Fields, and then Taylor got hurt. And then once Justin Fields...
Let's go back to the London game. You said he holds guys accountable. Was that game not all on Aaron Glenn, the London game? Against Denver.
Yes, he did a bad job. Before the half, he should have used that time. I don't know what the hell he was doing. And then he should have benched Fields.
Do you think if he benched Fields, they would have won that game if they just had Tyrod for the second half against Denver?
Yeah, I would think so because they needed a field goal. I
Okay,
thought
fair.
the mistake he made, he should have went for the field goal at the end of the game. I don't know what the hell he was doing, but he's a rookie. He's a rookie head coach. We have to give him a chance.
He might be a rookie head coach. That is fine. And I hope he improves because he's not going anywhere. But that doesn't mean me doing a show talking about the Jets for 4 hours a day can just ignore this and not voice concerns that I have as a fan. You could agree with me or disagree with me, but I'm not abusing him. I'm calling it how it is. He's done a bad job. He's been better these last 2 games. It has now quieted down the one and done talk, certainly. And the trades they made certainly quieted all that down because Woody believes in him. At the end of the day, he's not going anywhere if the owner believes in the coach he hired. But we don't need to lie and pretend like he's done this great job. Let's hope that we see more improvement when the schedule gets tougher now against New England and Baltimore.
But Jake, but there's.
And I'll be the first one lauding Aaron Glenn if they prove me wrong and win on Thursday. But he hasn't done a good job so far, Roy. And I don't think Saleh was a great coach. But what do the Jets do better now than they did under Robert Saleh during his tenure?
Oh, I think the penalties are a lot better.
That might be the only thing we could point to, and it's not even a full season of sample size on that. It's just recent games.
Yeah, but Jake, I know we got to give him this is Saleh's first year.
We got to give him time, Roy. How many times do I say? How many times do I got to say though? I hope he gets better because he's not going anywhere, and I'm a Jet fan.
Let me ask you something. How was Jimmy Johnson's first year with the Cowboys?
So we're using historic outliers as the only thing we could point to. Really, 1-15 Jimmy Johnson in 1989 is the only thing we could go with here.
No, because I don't want to move on from Glenn.
They're not going to.
He could have been good. That's why I know in the beginning you were hoping that he was a one and done.
If they finished with the worst, I wasn't hoping, Roy. I said over and over again.
With the worst record,
right. So you watch the show, right? So how is that me hoping? It's me stating that if they were bad enough with this roster, which is not the worst roster in football, has legitimate pieces on it, unlike the Gase 2020 team that should have been the worst team in football and finished with 2 wins because Jacksonville had the tiebreaker over them. How is me saying if they finished with this roster, with the number 1 pick in the draft in a league that's built on offense, how is me sitting here saying they should get rid of the defensive-minded coach whose defense was horrific, hire an experienced offensive coach, and let him handpick his quarterback? A bad philosophy if this team was that bad in the first place. How is that unfair or abusive?
Because they lost a few close games to good teams, and they have a bad quarterback. His quarterback is terrible. Yes, it was his decision. I get it, but he's bad.
Roy, but how was my opinion unfair? That you said I've abused the coach. My opinion has been consistent that if they were the worst team in football, which they won't be because they're not, and I never thought they were. I took bets on the show with Black Gypsy and with Hamburger, 2 regular callers, that the Jets weren't going to go winless. And the second they made those bets, they've now won 2 in a row. This team is not as bad as what the record is. They shouldn't be 2-7. That's been my point. The coaching, I hope, gets better because there are legitimate pieces here. And they have all these draft picks now to find their quarterback and surround him with the infrastructure he needs to be successful. But if your head coach is dog crap, you won't win. It took till Harbaugh showed up in LA for Justin Herbert, who's great, to have a chance to win year over year now. You need a coach. And I haven't seen enough from Aaron Glenn to feel like he's a great coach. I hope he continues to improve because he's not going anywhere.
So your gut feeling right now, you believe in Glenn or you don't?
My gut feeling is no, I don't. I haven't seen enough. My gut feeling is he's going to fail like Saleh did, like Bowles did here, like the end of the Rex Ryan tenure. He's going to fail like Gase did. He never should have been hired. Like, I hope that he gets better. But right now, you ask me, gun to my head, do I think he's going to be this great head coach? No, I don't. I have major concerns. I have not seen enough. I hope he keeps getting better.
I think he'll turn it around. Not this year. He'll get better this year as a coach, making decisions on the field. I think he's been bad. I think he'll get better with that. And I think by next year, he'll be a very good head coach.
I hope you're right, right?
But they just need to hit, they have to hit the quarterback, which that's a big thing, which I agree. But I think Muji and Glenn have been doing a good job signing all these other free agents. I think they did a good job. Not free, they're making little trades.
Agreed.
I think they got better.
But that's not coaching, right? Like, so if we want to say Aaron Glenn should just be the GM with Muji, great. But he's got to be the head coach of the team. Like that, you realize that, right?
Yes, but Jake, every bad move he made, you were saying, Glenn has his finger on this, but all the good moves he made, you don't give him the credit. You give Muji the credit.
I say every time. I just said in with this call that the trades have been great, and I love what they did with the Sauce and Quinn deal. And Glenn and Muji get credit for that. I literally said, you see, people like you, Roy, you hear what you want to hear. You think that I don't give Glenn credit, but I literally gave Glenn credit to the exact thing you just said in this call. Because your perceived perception is that I never give him credit when I've been saying ad nauseum that he gets credit for that is completely ridiculous. And also, I gave him credit during the show at the beginning when we were talking about the win, how they were ready to play. It showed me something that they won after the bye week. I could say these things, but you guys don't actually want to hear what I have to say.
I don't know, maybe because from the get-go I feel like you're always negative towards him, but maybe that's like you said, maybe I'm
Because
only
he's done
hearing.
terrible. That's why.
I get it. I get it. He came in a bad situation. Listen, the Jets have been bad for the last 15 years.
But he made the situation worse. You realize that, right? He came in and said, "We're here to win now and going forward." He came in and did the whole.
But what do you want him to say? What do you want him to say? We're going to come here and lose? Of course, he's going to say we want to come here and win.
His job is to manage expectations. His job is to not come out there and say things he can't back up, or if he is going to say things, actually back them up. This team has talent on it.
Jake, Glenn doesn't care what the media thinks, what the media says. That's what I like about him. He doesn't care what these guys think. That's why he doesn't even tell them who the quarterback is. He care. He's going to tell his locker room.
You think that's a smart approach to take to be combative with the media when you're 2-7?
I like that because all the other coaches did it the other way and it didn't work. I like this tough guy. I don't care. I want him to win. I don't care what he thinks about the media. I want him to make his players believe they can win every game, no matter what. And I like that.
His job, he can say whatever he wants to the media, but if he doesn't win, he only increases the heat on him and thus creates a bigger distraction for the team. So that's what I talk about with these press conferences mattering. Like they create a firestorm around the team. It makes it a tougher environment to get out of the Jet karma that has engulfed the franchise. That's the whole
Eventually, he has to win because if he doesn't win, he's going to get tortured. So he has to win, which I think he will.
Roy, I hope you're right. But once again, if maybe you listen a little closer to the show, some of your complaints to me, you'll realize that I've said exactly that. And how about this? How about they go out there and win Thursday, and then we would be ecstatic because they would have beaten a great team on the road when no one's giving them a chance.
At least be competitive. I'll give you that. I don't know about winning.
Hey, Roy, let me get your approval, though. If they get destroyed on Thursday, am I allowed to be upset and be critical? Am I allowed to, dare I say, be anything sort of critical over a football team that is 2-7 and has wins over an awful Cleveland Browns team and the worst defense in football, the Bengals?
Yes, but still not going to change my mind saying, oh, yeah, Glenn is going to be a bad coach because they get blown out.
He might. Let's hope he gets better. Let's hope. And look, if they get blown out on Thursday, that doesn't mean that they can't look good the remaining 7 games. He's getting the full year, and my opinion's going to be either my opinion will evolve with more evidence. I'm never like dead set on one thing. Like if you watch the show long enough, I used to be called a Zach Wilson truther. And then now I'm known as the biggest Zach Wilson hater. It's almost like the more things play out and we have more evidence to formulate an opinion, I'm willing to change my mind based on results. So
that's fair.
That's all I'm saying, man.
Let me ask you a question. What do you think about Mac Jones for a stopgap next year? Let's say
he's under contract, so I'm not going to entertain that. He's under contract. Also, let me shout out Jay Reeves. You are one of the most pathetic commenters we have ever seen. Every comment, he just Black Gypsy. You might be onto something here. He's unreal. Like I'm just like looking back some of these comments here. It's like, dude, call in. You won't because you're soft. You won't. You are bad, man. Jay syndrome. Honestly, I don't even want to see Jay Reeves' comment anymore. They're distracting me. I got to do a show here. So we will thank you for your service, Jay Reeves. Enjoy the hole because you're not calling in anyway.
Now look what you've done. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to pull you out of the chat and cast you down with the Sodomites. Some time in here will feel like you've been run over by the lane train. You understand me? You catch my drift? Give them another 24 hours to think about it.
We will see you later, Jay. I can't. All right, rapid fire through calls here because a bunch of you are still on hold here, and we're not going to be able to get to everyone, but we'll be able to get to at least, let's see, one. We'll see how long this goes. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time.
His home smell is on the bed. That's what feels good. All the road smell is on the bed. In a dirty hotel room. Because the show smell is on the bed. It's just more comfortable. He got a beard, loves the Jets, super chats. He's a big fella, sleeps alone. There's no room on his bed. That's a big fella.
Welcome to Asmania Roy. God damn.
Dude, that guy has been trolling me on Twitter, and I'm shy. I get Roy. I do disagree with most of what you said, but I give you credit for calling in. Unlike, Jay or Spencer Greed, who have Jay syndrome.
Absolutely. Now, getting back to Indy's thing on Fields, we've been winning. We won this game despite Fields, man. Fields was terrible. And in the Denver game, we lost that game because of him. The Bills game, he couldn't hit a pass. He got Garrett hurt by throwing behind him. He's been awful. He's been so bad.
He's been terrible. And a lot of the Jets' issues were the defense was also bad at the same time, or the decision making by the coach was awful. But like he's still their biggest problem overall because he plays the most important position. He's not the only reason why this team is 2-7, but he's a big reason for it. Like, we don't need to pretend like he's not.
No, absolutely, absolutely. Just go back to that Denver game. How many times did he get sacked? Like 9 times, man. And even Membu was like throwing a fit. I mean, he sucks, dude. I agree with Gypsy. With the whole he's a gadget player. He's definitely a gadget player. He can't run an offense. He can't run offense, and he doesn't run the ball anymore, and he can't pass the ball. So what the hell is he there for?
And he's getting worse too. He had the one outlier game against Cincinnati, the Mangled Miracle, and give him credit. He's a great dude. It's not personal, but I mean, JD kind of nails it here, right? We're 1-1 when Fields played well. We're 1-6 when he's awful. Like, he's just incapable of elevating anyone. And in half his starts, he's at under 60 yards passing. He's not a playable quarterback. Start Tyrod and get Brady Cook ready to go. I've seen enough from Fields. He's not our guy. Let's at least evaluate what we have on offense. And Tyrod's a professional quarterback.
Bro, who threw the game-winning pass against the Bengals?
Breece Hall.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we could get. I told my cousin yesterday at the game, I was like, we could put Breece Hall at quarterback and probably get similar or better results than what we're getting now with this crap. And it's true. I mean, he's a liability. It sounded like he's going to start on Thursday, which God help us if he does. But I mean, if he starts pulling this garbage like he did yesterday.
Look at this chart here. This is the saddest passing chart you will ever see by a professional quarterback.
Yeah, it's so bad. I mean, I have no words. I saw every play, and it's like in real life, it's worse.
How do we have Fields defenders? At least with Zach Wilson, he was drafted by us. Justin Fields, we have no loyalty to him. Woody Johnson just gave him generational wealth. He gave him $30 million guaranteed. That should be more than enough.
Hell yeah! And also, we complained about Zach. Oh, they're stacking the box against Zach because he can't throw the ball. What do you think they're doing now? He's worse. He's worse than Zach. It's terrible. We obviously we're going for a quarterback this year, and I would trade. I wouldn't trade 3 first-round picks for him. That's insanity. But we have enough capital where we can go up, and that should give us something to look forward to. But I'm hoping for a win on Thursday. But man, Fields does not give me any hope for this game.
They should start Tyrod. Honestly, the competitive advantage would be if you surprise the Pats and actually go to Tyrod on a short week. It gives you a better chance.
100%. And Tyrod threw interceptions, but those two were at the Carolina game. Those 2 interceptions were insane interceptions, man. J.C. Horn, he pulled out some acrobatic. One of them was the best interception I ever saw. So I don't know. I say put Tyrod in. I agree 100% with Gypsy with the gadget player thing. I mean, he could be a worse Taysom Hill, I guess. I don't know. And have Brady Cook as the second QB. That's what I say. But and also, can we extend Breece Hall, please? Extend Breece Hall. He's
Agreed.
the offense.
Look, I will give the Jets the benefit of the doubt. I'll give Glenn and Muji the benefit of the doubt that because they didn't trade him, it means they're going to keep him. But they better keep him. Otherwise, I will go ballistic this offseason if he's gone.
Yeah, 100%. Anyway, Jake, have a great show, man.
Been a wild show. 2.5 hours already. Jeez.
Yeah, well, you do a great job, man. And I'll be watching in the afternoon, man. So have a good day.
It. Big fella, you're the man. Appreciate you. Kyle's up next. Hello, Kyle.
Hello. I wanted to talk about how the Saints played yesterday. Tyler Shaw played fantastic.
Yeah, he looked good. I hope he keeps playing great because not only would that mean they would win, it means one less team that couldn't need a quarterback if they think he's their guy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if we look at Tankathon, don't mean to bring it up again, but if we look at Tankathon, I mean, the only quarterback needy team in the top 5 is Cleveland. So, I mean, if we do an interstadium trade with the Giants, we could get our guy, but it all depends on who else is thinking about trading up.
The
I
Saints,
mean,
by the way, have a lot of winnable games the rest of the way. I don't think they're a good
yeah,
team, but they play Atlanta, they play Miami, they play Carolina, they play
yeah.
us, they play Tennessee, they play Atlanta again. Like, I think New Orleans is going to win a couple games here.
We might not even have to trade up. I mean, because we play the Patriots, the Ravens, dare I say, the Jags. Is a very losable game. And then the Patriots and Bills again.
The issue could be the Raiders are freaking terrible, dude, and they need a quarterback. So you got to watch for them. And Miami, I know they have Tua, but they look at it like we get a chance to get a quarterback, we'll take one, and then just let him sit behind Tua till Tua gets hurt. We'll go with that for a year.
Yeah, and I don't think McDaniels is going to survive this year. I think he's going to be out by the end of the season. And they already got rid of their GM, so I think it's going to be a complete new regime. They're probably going to do something about Tua. Definitely bench him. Definitely get rid of him. So that's going to be a team to watch. But I mean, if we're talking best possible scenario for the Jets, I would say 7-10. That's the best we can go, in my opinion. And we'd have to beat the Jags. But with how Fields is playing currently, there is no possible way that we beat a team without either a special teams touchdown or a defensive touchdown.
How they won yesterday only works when you play the Cleveland Browns.
I know. I knew that the Jets won. I watched it a little later in the night. So I knew that they won. But so I watched it back. And I was watching play after play, and I was astonished of how we won that game.
It was a historic way they won. They have not won with that few net passing yards since 1973. If Fields plays similar on Thursday, they lose 30. They lose by 30 plus points.
Oh yeah, and I always think of the positive when it comes to the Jets, but this Thursday we're losing by maybe 30.
I'll tell you what, if that happens, that's also unacceptable because they should not lose by 30 in a short week to the Patriots. They shouldn't. And New England's really good. You shouldn't be embarrassed. Show up and show some fight. Force a couple turnovers for once. Give yourself a chance to hang in this game. Run the football. Have a good game plan. Be willing to change the quarterback if you see early Fields has nothing, if you're still going to start him. I wouldn't, but they should not get killed Thursday. That would be a major indictment on this coaching staff if they get destroyed on Thursday.
Yeah. I mean, the defense looked great. I know we're playing the Browns, but they looked great. I mean, if I remember correctly, I saw a stat where it said that Will McDonald had a franchise record of 4 sacks in a game. I don't know.
He tied the record.
Oh, okay. He tied the record. But I mean, it is playing against the Browns, so there's some, something to say about that. But like, they played great, minus Quinnen and minus Sauce. I mean, the secondary did do a little not great against Jerry Jeudy and Fannin and Njoku, but besides that, I thought they played great. AZ Thomas being out with a concussion, that was awful. Friendly fire. But other than that, I thought Sherwood played great. He had, I believe, that one penalty against him. It was a defensive holding penalty. That was ridiculous.
Look, they play well, Kyle, but it's the Browns. Dylan Gabriel. I thought going in Fields was better, but maybe not now. But I mean, like, Dylan Gabriel's not any good, so that's a big part of this. Let's see how they look against Drake May. He's playing good football right now.
Yeah, I mean, I hope that our secondary and our defensive line could do something against this Pats offense. I mean, I really love our two edges so much. I'm so glad that we didn't trade them. I think that would have been a complete mistake. But I'm really liking the future of this team, and I think that we can get our guy. If we even win a couple games, we can get our guy for no more than 2 firsts, trade compensation wise.
Well, one of them would be our first, and then maybe one of the first for next year. Depends where you're moving from and who the quarterback is. Are you a first-time caller, though, Kyle, before I let you run?
I'm a second-time caller.
Second time. All right. Well, call again. I like the takes, man. As a fellow redhead, we all stick together. So well done. All right. More calls. But first, shout out to Stack for this Asmaniac Super Chat. Says happy 250th birthday to all my Marines, past, present, and future. Hell yeah. Love that. Shout out to the Marines. Thanks to everyone who serves our great country. And where's Fraud Fan Gorman? Here we go.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This was my text exchange with Benedict Gorman yesterday. Texted me after the Colts won. Indeed. Colts win, mofo. I go, I thought you regretted leaving the Jets, but seems like you're still a Colts fan. He goes, I guess so. So, ladies and gentlemen, Charles Gorman still remains dead to me and this community. He had a chance to walk it all back, and he refused to do it. Owen in the raffle for 2. Get him out of here, Jake. He wants fame. You talking about Roy or Jay Reeves? Probably Jay. Jay is ridiculous, dude, because, like, don't shit on people in the chat and me as a host every show and then never call in and put a face to your takes. Like, come on. Trade picks for Burrow. It would depend how many picks. I'm at least making the call and exploring it, all right? As much as we all want to get our guy. I disagree with Benigno. If I can get Joe Burrow, depending on what it is, and he actually wants to be here, and I already know I have my offensive line in place, like, he's Joe Burrow. Oh, he gets hurt. We said that about Lamar. And then guess what? He's been healthy the last few years and won an MVP during that stretch. They have a chance every year. Remember the Ravens can't pay Lamar because he didn't finish the year healthy back-to-back seasons. Well, since then, I know he got hurt a little bit this year, missed some time, but he's back now. Like, injuries happen, man. It's so hard to find a quarterback. You got a chance to get a top 5 guy at age 29. You got to at least consider it. I don't want to spend a ton of time on Burrow, though, because I don't think it's going to happen, but we'll have the conversation. Retire 80 already. Says, happy for Brees. Been homering for him. The human mute button, shutting up the haters. Happy B-Day, Yeti. Happy B-Day, Yeti. Owen says, can't wait for 10-7 playoffs. And I joined the show with you, Jake. If the Jets finish 10-7, Owen, you're hosting the show, baby. All right, your remaining calls here. Ladies and gentlemen, Ryan King is next. Hey, Ryan.
Hey, how you doing?
Living the dream. Ryan, what do you got for us?
So, a couple things for the Indy Jet fan. Yesterday, if you take out the Brees Hall screen of 42 yards, Justin Fields had 12 yards.
Correct.
But if you take out the negative yards that he got sacked on, he had no yards. If you go back to the Buffalo game, okay, and I actually pulled up the stats. I actually listened to the Boy Green Daily Show this morning. And if you go back there, Justin Fields was 3 for 11 for 27 yards. Mitchell Trubisky was 1 for 2 for 32 yards. And then if you take out the 2 sacks that he took for 19 yards negative, he only had 8 yards that game. I mean, this is the kind of quarterback play that you're defending, that you're saying, hey, he didn't lose us the game.
It was one of the, I like Indy a lot, Ryan. It's one of the silliest takes I've ever heard. Hey, he didn't lose us the games. Oh, great. So because the Jets got this incredible outlier performance by their special teams unit, that means we just get to excuse away Fields' performance? Like, we could do better, man. Tyrod Taylor blindfolded is a better quarterback at this point. Half the games Fields has started this year, he's at under 60 yards passing. If you're trying to evaluate what you have and you actually want this head coach to have a chance to improve and win games, he needs to make a change and start Tyrod Taylor. It's not that complicated.
Well, yeah, but the interest. You know what? Boy Green actually made a bet with one of the listeners that the Jets do not go 0-2. He said that the bet was that if the Jets go 0-2 over the next 2 weeks, that he will shave his beard. He'll actually shave his beard. But if they go 1-1 or better, then that listener is going to give him $100 through Venmo. But
Indy says the bet was with Allen. That's a pretty dumb bet by Boy Green.
it is, and I was like, dude, no, not the beard. But you know how many games that Garrett Wilson has played in that he has not caught a ball? One.
This was his first game. Yeah, I know. Terrible.
It's
Garrett Wilson also re-aggravated the injury that he suffered in the London game because Fields threw him a hospital ball during the final drive of that one. So Garrett Wilson re-injured an injury that he only suffered in the first place because his quarterback can't play.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, honestly, the Jets would be better to put Breece Hall back as a quarterback. I mean, honestly, it's not even a question. But that's all I wanted to say, bud. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you, Ryan. Hope you're doing well, man. Good to see you. I saw you were in Tampa, right? That's where I saw you.
Yep, I was at Tampa.
Good to see you, man. Appreciate you calling in. Let's keep it rolling here. We got some heavy hitters on the line before we wrap this bad boy up. Ladies and gentlemen, stop what you're doing and grab the oh shit bar.
If Mad Max ain't yapping about Jets, that boy, he's jamming. He's standing, freaking dancing, wall smashing. I'm Jake Asman. If Mad Max ain't ever stopped yapping, that boy, he still be dancing. Then call Jake Asman. He got an orange wall.
Honestly, Jake, can you guys hear me?
Oh yeah.
Let's get Roy back in the show. I want to argue with his points because he had some of the most delusional points I've ever seen. He was like defending Glenn. Oh, why were you so negative on him? Like, Jake, can you do me a deal? Get Roy on the show. I love to argue his points. Let me get Roy back on the show.
I don't know if he's still watching.
Stevie's still Stevie's still watching, but let's talk about my points. So I don't think Aaron Glenn so far is a good coach. I mean, yeah, we won the last 2 games. I was actually at the Browns game yesterday, but our defense played really good. I got to give credit to the defense. Like, we played really good. Like, granted, the Browns offense is absolutely horrible. There are a couple Browns in our section. There are a couple Browns. And he's like, oh, and they were saying like, oh, Dylan Gabriel.
Hey, Roy is on the line.
Get Roy on the show. Hey, Roy. How you doing? Hey, Roy.
Hello. Roy. This is not Roy. This is not Roy. What the hell are you talking about?
Beast Breaker, how you doing? How you doing, Beast? Let's talk about the game. Let's talk about the game yesterday.
Would you calm your butt down, number one?
Sounds good, Roy.
Justin Fields did not look like he played very well.
I agree with you on that. I agree with you. He played horrible.
I got my Roy's confused. Sorry, Mad Max. That was a different Roy.
Oh, that was all good, Jake. But I was saying Justin Fields was horrible yesterday. Honestly, the only reason we won the game is because our special teams played good and our defense was just so good. I want to give credit to the fans at yesterday's game. We brought the energy on defense. On the 3rd and 20 when don't Gabriel, we had the false start. I want to give credit to the fans for our defense playing well. Even though Browns played horrible, I think the fans bring the energy to the game. We brought a lot of energy on defense. That was a very good Jets win to see. I just want to give credit to the fans as well. Jake?
I heard the Jets only won because you were there, Mad Max. You were making so much noise, they felt it.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Wasn't I on the broadcast yesterday? I don't know. When you were watching the game, wasn't I on the broadcast? I was like, I don't know, and name it jersey.
They showed you. Yeah, they're like, that's Mad Max.
Actually, what did you actually see me on the broadcast with waving the towel? I was wearing a Jets towel because I was like,
they zoomed in on you. They're like, that's Mad Max of Jake Asman Show caller fame.
Oh, that's actually cool.
You signed any autographs to the game yesterday, Mad Max?
Oh no, I did not. I just was because in my section alone there wasn't that many. That was me and my friend Daniel. That was in 128. We got a very good deal.
Hey, Mad Max, what's the deal with you getting being on time to class? Because remember,
I'll be on time. I'll be on time tomorrow. I'll be on time for the next 2 weeks. I'll be on time for the rest of the semester, Jake.
You get free tickets and premium seats to Jets Falcons if I get word that you are on time to class. All right.
Sounds good, Jake.
All right.
Have a good show, Jake.
You too, Mad Max. Have a great day.
What do you guys' opinion on me doing a backflip through this orange wall?
Beautiful. Let's say hi to Beast. Beast, how come you went by the name Roy there?
Just do a little dancing, boys.
Let's go, Jets. Let's go, Jets. Let's go, Jets.
Dabo fired? Is that correct? Is that confirmed?
Well, that just happened.
Did Dable just get fired? Is that correct?
Yep,
Or
he's
that-
out. 58 seconds ago. He's out. Brian Dable been fired. Breaking news. Brian Dable is out. He should have been out. Joe Shane should not survive this either. It became completely untenable. Dable spoke last night like a complete broken man after that game. So there's no.
Did you see the game? I watched the game with my wife. It was not good. It was not good, bro. I don't understand. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I watched the entire. I even delayed the start of my post game show to watch the end of it yesterday. In my living room here, unbelievable. I mean, not surprising. I mean, the way the Giants have lost games this year, they lost games this year. I mean, this graphic just says it all. I had it saved for when I'm filling in on the radio this week. Like, look, this is all you need to know why Brian Dable is unemployed. The Giants lost each of these games. Like, enough said. Enough said. Look at this time in the score. They lost each of these games. I mean, and there's a stat yesterday where the New York Giants are 0-4 this season in games which they led by 10 or more points on the road. It's insane. So Dable had to go, and he'll probably get an OC job somewhere next year, but he had to go. It was time.
And maybe we can make it a Jet Life Stadium double play, and Aaron Glenn can get fired. Because, like, let this be a warning. Don't draft your quarterback if you don't have your coach. Because now they have to go find – and it's worked out because Jackson Dart looks good, right? But if he was struggling and they fired Dable, now you got to try to bring in a coach who wants to try to rebuild a struggling quarterback. So if you're going to bring in a quarterback, which I think the Jets are, you have to fire Glenn. Like, here's my point. Justin Fields is not good. He's not this bad. He's Zach Wilson. This is a Zach Wilson stat line. Like, this is egregious. He's been in the league 5 years. He's not this bad. So that means it's part of the system. It's coaching. It's the scheme. Yes, Garrett Wilson is hurt. I understand, but he's not this bad. So now you're going to let Aaron Glenn do this, what he's done to the Fields, to the next guy. How is that smart?
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
How much of the Jet game did you see? You were doing a Nets mock draft live during the Jet game yesterday.
I recorded it. I've watched most of it now. I recorded it, and I watched.
You wanted to do a Nets mock draft in November over watching your football team.
I said I wasn't going to watch another game until Glenn got fired, but when I saw it was 17 and a half, I had to go check it out.
He's not getting fired, though. So you're not going to be watching a Jet game for what, the rest of this year and all next year at the bare minimum?
How does he keep his job? I did. I went back. I recorded. I watched most of it. I've seen the game, most of the game now. I couldn't stay away. It's like a drug. It really is. So you were watching the mock draft. Huh?
No, that was sent to me by a couple people who were like, you got to call out Gary. He's doing a mock draft.
Yeah. Did you see my Nets last night?
You could have used my viewership there. You had 4 people apparently watching this.
There you go. It's a Sunday during football season.
Yeah, so why are you doing a mock draft for the Nets?
Because Dylan wanted to do a mock draft.
Who's Dylan?
I give you 2 guesses.
Dylan Terraman?
Okay, so pull up the picture again. If you had to guess who Dylan was, who would you guess?
Nets Press is Dylan, I guess.
There you go. The other guy in the picture, right? He's a pretty good draft guy. So.
I'd say Dylan should get some hobbies. Doing a Nets mock draft in November on an NFL Sunday? Come on.
Isn't that a hobby?
I said a better hobby, maybe.
Okay, better hobby. What's wrong with doing? Did you see my Nets yesterday? Did you watch the Knicks game?
Well, I had the Knicks game on in the background as I was doing the post-game show. I didn't need to watch it.
Okay.
I mean, the Knicks showed up. The Nets are the Nets, and the Knicks took care of business. I mean, I'm not going to make fun of you. Like, you guys are a terrible team.
It's not. It's at least Drake Powell played well. Like, they lost by, what is it, 36, I think it ended up being. And then it's like, oh, Drake Powell played well. It's like, awesome. Like, great. It's painful to watch. But I did I did have a couple of things. The first, that's my main point. The second thing I wanted to address was Indy. My quarterback didn't lose me the game. I absolutely hate that as a take. We're paying him 30. If he was a third string quarterback who was making the league's minimum, a 7th round pick, and he had to come in an emergency, you'd be like, okay, he's a starting quarterback. You guaranteed him $30 million. I want him to win me games. That's what I'm paying him for. I don't want him not to lose games, right? Like, I hate that as a take. Like, what other position do you say that about? Well, he didn't single-handedly lose me the game. Yeah, he shouldn't do that. And then Big Fella made a good point too. Extend Brees Hall. Like, we have the money. He's the only piece on this team from a weapon standpoint that we still have, right? Like, we have to keep him. Like, if he doesn't want to stay here, he doesn't want to stay here. But don't let it be because you didn't make a serious offer. If he takes less money elsewhere, there's not much you can do about that. If he wants to try to go win and take out money, show up money elsewhere, I don't think he would. But you got to make him a serious offer, and you have to outbid everybody else. He's our guy. He's the one guy left from that draft class. You have to keep him.
I think he needs to be extended. Keep him. I'm with you. Enjoy your Nets mock drafts, though, Gary.
All right.
This is for you.
Good morning, America. That Justin Fields draft, not so good. Very, like, I gasp right now.
Raffle is coming up shortly, so last chance to get in if you want to win a jersey. Kyle Clifton in the raffle for 2 says, I love the big fella, but those AI hotties, I want them in my intro now. It's time. Gator, you have another request. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we say hello to Adam.
Adam is cool, although kind of basic. He claims he's too cool, though often quite basic. He makes great jet points, looks a little basic. Adam is cool, too cool, but basic. Some would say generic.
Hey, Jake. How's it going, man?
What's up, Adam? Happy Victory Monday.
Victory Monday. And I'm glad I didn't follow Bad Max because I think between the fastball and the changeup, I don't know how the chat would have reacted.
Well done.
So I was just thinking, let's still give the Browns defense credit. They definitely made Fields look really, really, really bad. And that didn't probably surprise most people. But, I think something that you had mentioned.
It's the NFL, though, man. Like, it should never look this bad. Like, this is his fourth game and half it. He started 8 games, and 4 of them he's had under 60 yards passing. It's just, you can't win that way in the NFL. I don't care how good the defense is. The league is built to be able to move the ball and score points, and the Jets cannot do it with this quarterback in half his starts.
I agree. But they do have a really good passing defense to their credit. And now going to the Patriots, who have the best rushing defense, I think it's going to be all on Fields because I have a hard time believing Brees is going to have another banger game like this. If he does, awesome. I mean, if we do screen passes, maybe we get lucky. Some guys miss, something happens, wet field, who the heck knows? But the passing attack has to exist on Thursday. You can't run the ball alone one-dimensionally against the Patriots and expect to win. It's just not going to happen.
I completely agree. I mean, their only chances, I think, having Justin Fields on the bench and Tyrod Taylor be your quarterback, having still a great running game, but when you need to throw, a guy who could at least challenge a defense. By the way, I don't know what it is after yesterday because I haven't looked, but the Pats defense, I think, was 25th in DVOA going into that Bucs game yesterday. So they're not a great defense.
Right.
Like, the Jets should be able to hang around with them if they get competent quarterback play. I'm not picking them to win, but I think we look at the Pats like, oh, there's this juggernaut. Like, their defense is vulnerable. They should be able to move the ball and stay in the game if they get competent quarterback play. That's too big of a thing to ask for from Fields right now. By the way, Mike Kafka will serve as the Giants' interim head coach. He's their offensive coordinator, so he's the interim head coach.
Interesting. Okay.
Hopefully they get a head coach boost and they win some games here, clearing the way for the Jets if they lose games to be in front of the Giants and not have to make a trade with them if they wanted to move up for a quarterback.
Hey, speaking of boost, would you consider Dable for an offensive consultant job?
Consultant job, yes. I don't want him to be the play caller, though.
No, it doesn't have to be a play. Just somebody's going to give some expert opinion on quarterback play, something that he's supposedly good at. So.
Yeah, I think he'll get an OC job, though, somewhere. If not, he'll go to college and get a job.
No, I just meant for this year. Just get him right now.
Oh, bring him in now?
Yeah.
Nah.
Too easy. He's local. It's perfect.
Yeah, he's being paid by the Giants to not coach, though. I doubt he wants another job right now.
I don't know. I remember what happened to Salah and all that, but neither here nor there, I guess.
You remember, Salah got fired, though. It was still, it was the first week of October.
Yeah.
Dable's getting fired, and it's, almost Thanksgiving.
I think we can use all the advice we can get right now because this offense is we had a bye week, and yet it seemed like the the offense was just not doing anything remotely creative, and that was really concerning because I thought there'd be something more, an extra week to prepare, an extra idea of, oh, what's our identity going to be like? And yeah, our identity is try and cosplay the Zach Wilson offense or the Nate Hackett defense when it was really bad. I have no idea, but it can't look this way on Thursday, and it probably won't. And I think someone's got to get in the Fields' heads like, dude, you're going to have to throw it. And we got to hope that Garrett Wilson is playing so that he can just occupy Christian Gonzalez. And then maybe the wide receiver 2 and 3 will have a chance, because I'm just going to assume he's going to be locked down again. Christian Gonzalez is an excellent corner, and it's going to be a road game. And who knows what's going to happen? I think most folks know that they're not going to win this game, but anything can happen. If Fields has an inconsistently excellent day, great. Tough for our draft chances, but I want to remind everybody, most of the top quarterbacks that are going into the draft could stay back a year. So whoever you got your heart set on, they may not declare. So we'll have to see what happens when they actually declare. Everything else is a little early, in my opinion.
Well, the thing is, if these guys are projected to be top 10 picks, even with NIL, the money and opportunity is oftentimes too big for them to pass up. And I think players will learn from Drew Aller, who chose to stay in school when he could have been a first-round pick. And guess what? He got hurt, and now it's probably going to be like a day 3 pick.
Yeah, well, there's all sorts of new. There was a whole which article was it? It was in The Athletic about the college football insurance business has been booming now, and someone could take out a $40 million policy for a star QB to come back and probably cost the school $2 million, insures the player up to $40 million in case they get injured. That could be enough to persuade if they really love being the big man on campus, or they want to get another crack at being a national champion or getting a Heisman, if that matters to them. So you never know. We'll have to see. This is still unfolding, in a very entertaining way. But yeah, I don't really want to talk about quarterbacks in the draft just yet, when we still got to figure out what we're trying to do, with our offense. We know what Fields is. I think we've had enough of a sample set. It was enough of a sample set for Tomlin to make a call. So I think we kind of know what we've gotten. The only other reason I'm thinking we're keeping Fields on the on the field as a starter is just to maybe we're maximizing his trade value. I mean, you'd have to give a pick to get rid of him.
You'd have to eat some of the money and probably offload a draft pick to get someone to take it. It's bad though. I mean, it is what it is. Like if Glenn starts Fields, I think it's complete foolishness. If he starts Fields and he doesn't have a quick hook on him, if he has nothing, he's learned nothing from the London and Carolina experiences. We will see. Spencer Green says, breaking, this super chat helped the channel more than Black Gypsy's phone call. Oh, look at me. I'm a fraud. I'm soft. Well, I just helped the channel more than Black Gypsy today. Cry about it. Bums. For response, we say hello to Black Gypsy.
Soft. Enough said. You're soft. You took all that time to type that message and spend your money when you could have called in for free to make your salient points that you make in the chat all the time. It is what it is, though. But I stayed the whole time just for the smoke. Soft.
The rumble we need is Spencer Green versus Black Gypsy. We need it.
I'm ready. He keeps on telling me that he knows football. Like from your comments, you don't know football. But let's go. I'm willing to hear what you have to say. I'm an open ear.
Also, $10, Spencer. Like, what does that prove? Like, it's a sports call-in show. Like, we don't like. I appreciate the support. Believe me, I do. But that doesn't make you better than Black Gypsy because he didn't send in a $10 super chat. And also, Black Gypsy's always supported the show. He's always gifting memberships and participating in raffles and stuff. So
it's hilarious, bro. It's hilarious. It's $10 and gonna make your whole life change today, bro. I mean,
hey, that's $7 right there after YouTube gets a cut. Spencer, in honor of you, I'm gonna go get a nice bacon, egg, and cheese after the show. All right, Black Gypsy, you're the man. I appreciate you. I appreciate Spencer, and I need that rumble badly. All right. Let's do the raffle. Long show here. We're back this afternoon. I got the mega crew coming on. We got a Parkinson Tanky V combination again. Those have been successful. We've done it the last 2 games. The Jets have won both. So we'll try it again this afternoon. But right now, let's give away a Jets jersey. Let's hit it.
It's time to announce the winners of the weekly Asmaniac raffle. Let's spin the Jake Asman Show Wheel of Champions and find out which Asmaniac is winning an epic prize.
Oh, baby. And look who just gifted a membership. Black Gypsy. Black Gypsy, thank you. You're in. Well done. He's countering Spencer's super chat. Philly Noodles. He also, I just see, is in. Philly Noodles, you're in for one. Let me add you. Stand by. You people love to make my life difficult at the end here. Boom. All right, we should be all set. Let's spin the wheel. If you win, please email me, asmanjake@gmail.com, the player you want the jersey in, the size you want it in, and obviously your name and address so I know where to order it to. Oh, hold on. Dre. Hey, good. Dre, I know you were on hold. If you call in this afternoon, I will make sure I get you on. We just ran out of time here. It's a 3-hour show. Dre, you're the man. Let's give you a proper Dre video. Let's go, baby. Hugs for Dre.
I hug him every day. I hug him every day.
Dre is in for 5. Let me add him real quick. Dre, appreciate you, my man. Hopefully you're doing well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Beautiful. All right, nobody else. You enter. From this point on, it counts towards the afternoon. Here we go. Our winner is... How about that? It worked, Dre. Yeah. He won at the buzzer after entering at the buzzer. Let's go. Give it up for Dre. Hit the jet chant. Dre, you're the man. Appreciate you. You send me an email, asmanjake@gmail, or if you're on the Discord, shoot me a message there. That works too. You pick the player you want. You tell me. You want Namath, Klecko, Curtis, Corbett, Revis, or Nick Mangold, and I will get that ordered for you this week. Appreciate you and appreciate everyone who supports the show and watches each and every day. It is a Victory Monday. You wouldn't know it based on some of the yelling and screaming we've had from the callers today, but Jets did win. They do it again on Thursday. And man, is that going to be fascinating. We'll talk more about the state of this team this afternoon. Will Pa and Tanky V will be on with us. So I will talk to you guys then. But why don't we end with some good vibes, shall we? Ladies and gentlemen, this was Aaron Glenn's post-game speech to the team yesterday. Enjoy it, because who knows how many more wins we'll see this year. Go Jets.
Man, you talk about that was great again, fellas. Yes. Great again. Challenge you to come out, man. And this is how we gotta be. This is exactly how we gotta. And it's not.
Oh, hi. Jake wants me to ask you to click on the like button.
That's right, Lane. And if they don't subscribe to the Jake Asman Show, this team may never win another game. Let's go Jets.